Talk Radio.
Thank you, James. Thank you, Ash. It's Monday evening. Isn't it humid? It's very close, as my mother would say. It's horrible. It's neither sunny nor rainy, but it's very, very damp on the old forehead. Busy show this evening, including, well, there's a very funny book that me and Kath have been chuckling at before the show. I will give you details of that after the news at 10. You're listening to Talk Radio.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
Get an earful of unusual nocturnal emissions with radio's Lord of Misrule, Iain Lee. No relation, thank God.
Unfiltered Night Talk with the original king of unconventional conversation. Late Night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Oh, yes, dear listener. Good evening. It is Monday evening. It's 10 o'clock, and it's just the weather is, I don't know. It's hot and it's humid and it's thoroughly unpleasant. We need a blooming good thunderstorm to clear the air. That's what we need, and I've been saying that for the last 2 weeks. It ain't coming. 0344 499 1000. Busy show today. We've got another contestant from the show that I just can't stop watching. Naked and Afraid is the most insane show, and I love it. But before that, we have Tom Jackson in. Well, now Tom, I'm gonna call you an author, but have you really authored this book?
Well, yeah, you make a good point. I'm probably a bit of a fraud, really.
Well, I would never introduce you as a fraudster. Now we have fraudster Tom Jackson coming in.
Not convicted. But no, the words in the book are not written by me. They're all taken from other people's postcard messages. But what I've done is sifted through a lot of very dull cards.
Yeah.
And found the ones that have bits of interesting messages in them.
Yeah.
And then taken just the interesting bit.
Yeah.
And put that in the book with a picture.
It really is that simple. Some of you'll be at home scratching your head going, but it's that simple. You've got loads of followers on Twitter. What's your Twitter handle? Because people might have spotted you on there.
Yeah, at Past Postcard.
Right, and you've got about 45,000 followers. How long have you been doing that for?
About 15 months.
Okay,
yeah,
wow, okay.
Yeah.
So the book is delightful. If you're watching on Periscope, I am holding up the book now. It's slightly larger than a postcard. And it really is that simple. You flick through. It's one of those delightful books. You can kind of just flick through it. Oh God! And then here's a really old postcard. It looks like you can even see the postmark on there. It looks like 59 or something. It's in black and white, and the message underneath. And this is taken from the back of the postcard.
All real.
Sorry I've not written before, but I am terribly lazy. And that's it! And it's brilliant! It's brilliant! I was saying that we just met as you came in. And what I love about this, in an age of cynicism and meanness, where everything, to get retweets and likes and all of those things that are not important, there has to be kind of a tone and an edge. And what is delightful about the Twitter feed and this book is that there is no tone. There's no, weren't people stupid in the old days? There's none of that. It's charming. It's just charming. Let me pick another one at random, because I like this. Well, there are two. One's very topical, and one is one is a beautiful scene of a mountain and a lake. And out of context, these probably don't work, but trust me, it's brilliant. The weather has been good, except for when we got struck by lightning. And the other one, a picture of Big Ben and the Houses of Parliament. There are times when I'm not proud to be British, which I think is very apt. Well, how did you start doing this? What was the?
Well, I was mucking about, looking at Twitter. I was in the office, not much going on for a couple of days, which happens.
What do you do for a real job? Is it top secret?
No, I make commercials.
Okay, right, okay.
So I was waiting for stuff to come back from a client, and I was kind of between bits.
Yeah.
And I was looking at Twitter, and I'd looked at it a bit, and I thought, this is quite interesting, and I like the fact that it's concise. Yeah. I like things that are short messages, and I thought the things that seem to be effective on Twitter tend to have a picture. People like pictures. And they tend to have not too many words. Well, you can't have too many words. You only have 140 characters.
I think so, yes.
So I thought this is a bit like postcards.
Yeah.
So I popped a couple up, and I realised very quickly I couldn't put the whole message up. That became apparent, because you only got 140 characters. Is it 140?
I think it
is.
There was a big furore recently, because there was talk of upping it.
Yeah.
But I think they kept it at 140.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Yeah.
That would have been awful. So I found I could only put a few bits of the message on. But I realised that was actually a big strength, because by isolating just a certain bit, it just made the bit, whether it was odd, or funny or touching, it made it odder and funnier and touchinger.
It does, and it works. And I don't follow you because I don't follow many people, because I don't really like Twitter. I follow about 31 people, and most of them are members of the Monkeys. Don't take it personally. I'd only follow you and mute you, as I have done with some people. But lots of people that I know, and a couple of people that I do follow, have kind of taken this to heart, and they've retweeted it. I think Kathy Burke's retweeted.
Kathy Burke has, yeah, I know you're a big fan of Danny Baker. He's been very kind to me.
Yes, he has, that's it, at Prodnos. And so they pop up in my timeline, and they always make me chuckle. You know, it's I mean, this is my favourite one in the book, and I'm not going to read too many, because I don't want to spoil it for you.
Exactly.
But this is my favourite one. This is the last one I'll do from the book. It's a picture of a pier somewhere. It could be anywhere. I don't really recognise my British piers. Oh, it's Bournemouth, it says underneath. There we go, you see. I don't recognise my British piers unless they're labelled, and even then I struggle. The pier, Bournemouth. Paul and Graham have been fined for biting cats in the legs. I mean, what wonderful days they were.
I think one of the things that seems to work is that, and it's something that I like, is that they pose more questions than they answer.
Yeah.
And quite a lot of stuff on Twitter, and even a certain number of kind of humorous books, kind of spell things out to you so you know exactly what they're getting at.
Yeah.
I like to make people work a little bit harder, and I like the ambiguity.
Yeah.
It can go any way you like. As a reader, you can... people do. We have a lot of people, you've probably seen it on Twitter, people kind of try to complete the story.
Yeah.
Which is great, and it's amazing, and it's flattering. At the same time, I actually think the stories are complete.
Yeah.
I don't think they need any more. I like the vagueness. But it's great that people interact and kind of build up their own little weird narratives.
Do you still send postcards when you go away?
Yeah, I do.
Really?
Well, one of the things that's happened is people keep saying, "Oh, it's great, you're bringing back postcards. How marvellous."
Yeah.
And I must admit, I hadn't really noticed that they'd gone away.
Right.
But they clearly have, more or less.
I think they have. The only person I will send a postcard to is my mum, because she would always tell me off if I went away and didn't send her a postcard. Isn't it weird? I find postcard writing, well, it takes the buying, getting the stamp and writing it, it's 3 minutes. But I find it such a faff. I really find it such an effort.
It's the business of finding where you're allowed to buy stamps. If you're abroad,
yes.
Where do you get stamps from? Yes. Is it only a post office?
One to England isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But I think one of the nice things about postcards is because you have to sit and write them, even if you're dashing them off.
Yeah.
You do have to think, at least for a split second, about the person you're sending them to.
Yeah.
And one of the things I've found with these old cards is they are very thoughtful. They spend quite a lot of the space asking how people are, making sure they're okay, making sure their pets are okay.
Yes, there's lots of, I hope you're looking after the cats and feeding the dogs.
And they can come out very strangely when they say, you know, I hope Susie isn't misbehaving or whatever. And of course, it means the dog, but you don't know that.
In a way, they are kind of like the old-fashioned Twitter, because whereas you had a letter and you could write as many pages as you wanted, unless you were writing airmail. Do you remember airmail in the 70s? You get the thinnest paper that was at all because of the way. But with a postcard, you are stuck to the back of that tiny little bit of card, and so you have to be brief, and so quite often there are words missing from the sentences.
I think some people, something I've noticed on cards from maybe the early to mid 60s, they're still thinking of telegrams.
Okay, yeah.
So they even write in capitals with dots between the words, like a telegram. But also that whole thing of leaving out words as a sort of shorthand, which really, to be honest, the trick with writing a postcard, get a sentence and write the whole thing on there, then the job's done.
Yeah.
And big writing, I would recommend.
Where do you get them from? You going around flea markets and things?
Yeah, all the places you'd expect. So, you know, charity shops, junk shops, flea markets. And also I have a certain number of people who supply me with bulk cards.
Have you got dealers? You've got postcard dealers?
There are people who look after
I don't know if we've mentioned the name of the book. We should do. Postcard from the Past by Tom Jackson. I've tweeted a link to it earlier, and I'll tweet it again before 11 o'clock. It is a joy. It's one of those things you can sit and do it all in one go, and it wouldn't take you particularly long. Or it's just one of those books you can have lying around and you can just flick through it. You've brought some postcards with you, Tom.
Yeah, I don't know what they're like. I haven't looked at them, but we can have a look.
This is from your ample. Have you got like a room full of postcards? Your family?
One room.
Oh my God, no, really?
No, well, I mean, yeah. there are a few, and yeah, I mean they're mainly in the garage.
Right. Okay.
Really. That's. But they creep in at night. I think they creep in, and because you need a few in front of you when you're thinking, and you need a few because you'll flick. It's like. Well, it's like a sort of very bad card game because you're throwing a lot of them away all the time. But then,
you compared them to the I Ching just before we came on air, saying I brought a selection, and it's best to pick them at random. As though
I think they pick you. Some of them have messages that sing to you, and a huge number don't. Most of them are really, really boring.
Yeah.
If people are thinking that they can go to a charity shop and pick up a card and it's going to be hilarious, then that's great.
Yeah.
But I haven't found it works that way.
What's the ratio of good ones to bad ones? Would you say?
It's like 1 to 35 or 40.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
You'll stand a slip occasionally on Twitter. Nothing slips for the book.
The book it's all hits on there, guys. It's the greatest hits.
Vintage postcards.
It is delicious. Go on,
have a look.
Do I just pick one by the front?
Well, I look at the back. The front comes later.
Okay, all right. Well,
but you may find nothing there. I mean, you also need to kind of get your eye in for the handwriting, which can be pretty hard to read.
Well, this is it, because a lot of this handwriting is here we go. Let's see with this. This is to Mrs. Hood.
Oh, don't say the name.
Oh, is that top secret?
Oh, I'd never say the name.
Right, the name. That one's gone. Then
Mrs. Hood will be so upset.
That one's gone. That's gone.
Yeah, definitely. It was Mrs. Hoof. It's okay. It's okay.
Mrs. Hood's gone. I never received a postcard. I'm sure you will recognise this picture. We stayed here Saturday. D, B and B nearly needed a second mortgage, but lovely. 3 exclamation marks after mortgage.
That's quite good.
So far, beautiful sunshine, now at Dunbar and making for home. That's quite nice.
Yeah.
P.S. Now in Moffat. It's quite a dull picture of a
stately home.
Stately home.
But what a sky. Look at the colour of that.
That sky is...
That is as blue as it gets.
That is pretty... pretty amazing. Do you ever get in touch with the people that these are addressed to?
No, I haven't. And people, you're not the first person to ask something similar to that. And people say, does anyone ever say that was my card? People do that a lot in a humorous way.
Yeah.
It's something like, we were so drunk. And that could have been you.
Yeah.
But actually, I'm pretty keen people don't do that.
Right.
And I have been known, if the cards are sort of beyond 1990, to change a name because I don't want to embarrass anyone. It's not about that. The idea is the cards are kind of what we think. The thing, there's a few messages that you kind of learn from this book. One is that some things were different 30 or 40 years ago, obviously. Some obvious sort of facts of mechanisms of life. But actually, the stuff people were concerned about is exactly the same as we're concerned about now. It's wanting to have a nice time with people we care about, in nice places, with nice weather.
I'm being quiet because I'm reading these. Had a long, dreary journey, but no hitches apart from traffic jams. That's what you want from a postcard, isn't it?
Quite good.
That's a great one.
The one thing you get a lot in the cards from the 60s and 70s, which you don't get so much now, is cars breaking down. Cars used to be terrible.
Yeah.
And people are very stoic about it, and they say, oh, well, apart from the exhaust falling off, it was a pretty good journey. Well, that's pretty good.
I remember an exhaust falling off on a journey, and my dad knocking on a door to get some string. And he tied the exhaust back on. Yeah. That's fantastic. Go on, have you got any good ones in your pile? It's a fun game. Why do postcards end up in charity shops?
Well, I think people... Funnily enough, since you ask, people have collected postcards from the very first day postcards were produced, which was the end of the 19th century.
Yeah.
Because they're pretty pictures.
Yeah.
So people always collected them. And I think people hold on to them. And if you're sent one by a relative, you hold on to it. It's a nice thing to have.
But then you take it to a charity shop. I suppose some people can't bear throwing it away.
Well, yes.
Oh, they're dead.
I think
there we go. Thank you.
You're for quite a lot of them. May and Willie are well. There we go, since you asked.
Still no news of Claire, but I expect we will hear soon. Oh, Claire.
We hope to make a day trip to Denmark one day.
Oh, I love it.
It's sad, isn't it? Or
it is. Oh, gosh, this is great. I used to march the troops up to this church during the war.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
So there's sort of double nostalgia. There's nostalgia for that card, and then they're nostalgic for a previous age.
That's incredible.
Where is that?
That is the parish church in Bakewell.
Really?
And that's 1986.
Were there a lot of troop manoeuvres then?
I don't know. Maybe
Perhaps your listeners could call in if they were involved in the Bakewell coup.
They probably quite well.
I miss Britain. Nostalgia abounds. Ridiculous. Very poor spelling.
Saw Mabel, but no chance to talk to her. This is the line. Cut chapel to go paddling on the beach. Refreshed other parts.
Ask no more questions.
This is a Radio 4 show, surely. There must be...
Is this not Radio 4?
No, I'm so sorry, Tom. I only say that to tempt the high-quality guests here. Once we get here, it's talk radio and no one's listening. This is a joke. How's the book doing? Because in this, because it is, because I hate to say it, books seem quite old-fashioned to some people, and the charming...
Books, eh?
They do, don't they? They do. I refuse to go digital and get a Kindle. The one concession I've recently made, I love reading it, and me and my 7-year-old were at home alone on Sunday, and we were both a bit bored, and he said, well, Dad, it's a nice day, we could go and sit in the garden and read. And we both just went and put our legs up, and we were reading our books. Him, A Famous Five, me, a book about a songwriter in the 60s who went nuts. But the one concession I've made to putting books down recently is audiobooks. Literally in the last 3 or 4 months, people reading their own autobiographies. Billy Idol reading his own autobiography. It is the most... It's a lot of it is about sexual conquests. Then at the end, he talks about his beautiful teenage daughter, and I think those ladies were someone's daughter as well, Billy. It's a little bit...
So why is that worse than an audiobook? I don't understand.
Because you get to hear him doing it like this, and he's all lascivious as he's describing what he did on an aeroplane. But I am a big fan, what I'm trying to say in a roundabout, clumsy way, is I'm a big fan of books, and I'm passing that on to my children, and I think that is... I'm glad Kindles never quite took off the way they were going.
I think with, a couple of years ago they were all saying all the, books were dying, it's all going to... But that absolutely hasn't happened.
Yeah.
But I think, nonetheless, people are discovering that books that feel bookish, that have a sort of tactile quality or a visual, like this, which is primarily a picture book, they kind of seem to have a new lease of life. People seem to get excited by that. So, having said that, this is available for the Kindle as well, I believe.
Of course it is. And why not get both? This is lovely. About the author, at the back of the book. Normally you get a long... Tom Jackson has been writing since 90. He's had articles published. No. Tom Jackson started putting old postcards on Twitter in 2016. He lives in South London. That's it. That's all we need to know.
You can mind your own business anyway. What else does anyone need to know?
That's all we need to know. This little book is dedicated to my father, who taught me to collect. I'm assuming your father has passed on.
No.
Is he still with us?
Absolutely.
Was he a hoarder, a collector? Was he one of those dads
He was and is a big collector.
Yeah.
Of all kinds of things. Including ephemera, which I think this would fall under the category of ephemera.
Yes.
A childhood traipsing around junk shops and bookshops, it rubs off on you.
It does.
So even if it creeps up on you a bit later in life as well, you kind of resist it for a while, but it creeps up.
My dad used to go to the dump, back when you could go to the dump. And he would come back with he came back with this beautiful accordion once in a case. He said, I just found this.
Are you allowed to do that?
You used to be. Right. In the 70s and 80s.
Did money change hands?
No, I don't know. I'm sure my dad worked for BBC and he used to nick stuff. I'm sure he went and gave them some bits and pieces. But he'd come back, and we would so many Sundays going to flea markets or antique shops. And as a 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old, this was tedious and the most boring thing. Now as a 44-year-old, oh baby, I can spend 2 hours in a record shop, then go to an antique shop with no intention of buying anything, but just going, oh look, there's a phrenologist's head, all of that kind of stuff. I love it now, and I know that my children in 40 years' time will go, well, maybe Dad was right. Maybe he had a thing.
Yeah. Well, it's a connection with the past. It's maybe a connection with your own past. Who knows?
Yeah, I think there is.
But I think there's something going on now as well, because old stuff kind of became a bit unfashionable for a while.
Yeah.
It was just kind of a bit old, a bit naff. And a book like this, I don't think would have come out 15 years ago, because I think it would have been seen as just a bit kind of eccentric and odd and for kind of weird collectors.
Yes.
But I think the whole vintage thing whatever that is, that's taken off, whereby people have a kind of stylized relationship with the past and stuff from the past. That's changed it all. And now the number of young people who get very, very misty-eyed when they see these postcards, and they probably were all sent before they were born. But it connects to them somehow.
And I think I'm right. There's not one of those terribly unfunny, carry-on, slightly blue postcards that I seem to remember seeing all the time. Yeah, no, these are all lovely pictures.
I think I did. Sometimes I look at the message and the message is great, and I turn it over and it's a joke on the front.
Yeah.
And well, you know how it is with jokes. If you have too many jokes, the jokes start to neutralise each other.
Yeah. No, these are all
no jokes on the front.
Delightful. Some are slightly odd. I mean, what is that?
Slightly.
Hang on a second. What's the? I know the reference in the back. What's the one on page 143? That's a strange one.
Hang on.
Oh, it's Pamukkale in Turkey, of course. Well, I'm so sorry, Turkey. I didn't recognise. It's.
Yeah, that's an amazing place.
It's an incredible picture.
Yeah. I know. I'd like to go there.
It's an incredible. Have you been? Do you plan on doing a little tour of these places?
It's funny. It makes you realise how ignorant you are of the geography of your own country.
Yeah.
But then also, what it does, going through these cards, it kind of skews your idea of what places are important.
Yeah.
So you begin to think that, well, really, Britain has two places in it. One, the New Forest.
Yeah.
And of course, the New Forest is mainly, wall to wall. Ponies.
Yeah,
you can hardly move for
it's
ponies.
The weirdest thing.
Non-stop pony. And then the other place that I think really only existed in the 1970s for coloured sand and postcards is the Isle of Wight.
Yes.
And the main industry, as far as I can tell, in the Isle of Wight is postcards.
Right.
Just hundreds and thousands of postcards. Millions, no doubt.
Yeah.
And I mean, presumably every street had a picture of it on a postcard from the Isle of Wight. It's just non-stop.
Lovely comments from lovely people on the back of the book as well. Everyone's a winner.
Well, we only put the nice ones on.
This guy's a tosser. Such and such on Twitter. But I mean, all lovely. Jill Mansell, Holly Walsh, Robin Ince, Charlie Higson, Emma Freud, Samira. I love Samira Ahmed. I think she's absolutely brilliant.
She's good.
Danny Wallace, James O'Brien. It is one of those things that people seem to have taken to heart and seem to find very charming.
I think the first people who liked it were, lots of people, but the first people who I noticed...
The first people that counted.
I don't want to say that. The first people whose names I recognised were kind of writers and poets and comics.
Yeah.
And I think people who use words and pay attention to words. And I think they kind of got a kick out of... There's something about the rhythm of real words that people have written that you couldn't fake it, actually. And people say, oh, it sounds like Alan Bennett. Oh, it sounds like Victoria Wood. And actually, what you're saying is Alan Bennett and Victoria Wood were really, really good at capturing real speech rhythms. Yeah,
they were. Their skill is observing that and being able to put it down.
And I'm just proving how good they were.
I can't read some of these. I've started... every few years, I try and start a diary. And I was rereading. I was listening to the audiobook. It was a cop-out. Michael Palin's diaries, because I read the books and then I got the audio thing and I listened to it. And I thought, I'm going to start a diary that for my kids some way down the line. So when I'm dead or whatever, there'll be this box full of books that I will have written, and they'll be able to either look at them or chuck them away or whatever, So I've started
cringe at them.
Well, I'll cringe at them, because I'm being quite honest on there and quite blunt. And I'm trying to write it by hand. Flipping it, half hard work. We've lost. Well,
it's a dead skill, isn't it?
It really, really is. I was never a particularly neat handwriter, and I'm always quite embarrassed by my handwriting. But I write literally I can get about 10 lines before I have to stop and shake the hand. And these, the book of postcards that you have handed me, this pile of postcards, it is the most ornate writing. I mean, this one's from the 80s, I think. But I can barely read it. Now that's down to me, I think, primarily.
But so I see a lot of this handwriting, and I must say, if I'm flicking through a pile and the handwriting's terrible, that kind of goes to the bottom of the pile. I don't bother with it. But sometimes ones you can. What I see is different. Obviously, in the book, you don't see the back of the card. You just see the typeset bit of the message. But sometimes messages from children, obviously the writing is very childish, but when it's transcribed for Twitter or for the book, it has a kind of strange double meaning. Which is kind of cheating, but I'm allowed to cheat. It's my book.
But people, yes, there's lots of it's about the weather. I started off starting the show talking about the weather, so it is one of those cliches that Brits like to talk about the weather.
Well, I kind of made it a rule, unless the weather was really spectacular, I wasn't going to put it in the book, because actually, I don't really care if my neighbour comes back and says the weather was bad on the holiday. I don't care.
Yeah.
So why would I care about someone from 40 years ago? But what I did do, which you've probably observed, is on the end papers, I've done a kind of there's two things.
Yes.
At the front, you have lots of messages. They're kind of separated from their postcards, but they're real messages, and they're about good weather. And on the back, you have some rather poor weather.
Rain beetling down. I mean, what a phrase. Misty today and a brisk north wind. It is bitterly cold here, and I've bought a hot water bottle. Imagine that kind of holiday. Dear God. Tom, it's such a joy. And everybody, I insist that you rush out and buy it. Where is the best place for them to buy it for you? I always ask this, because I wonder if Amazon is necessary.
No, for me, wherever you can get hold of it. Amazon, Waterstones,
Okay.
WH... No, it's not in WH Smith, I don't think.
Is it not?
It should be.
It should be.
It will be.
Have you seen the state of WH? How do WH Smiths keep going? I keep predicting their demise, but it seems to be a front for something. Answer? Yeah, go on.
Well, I think it's the post offices they have in them. I think that helps.
Really?
These days.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it is.
Well, then good.
But they're an excellent shop.
They are a superb shop, and boy, oh boy, I really hope they start stocking your books soon. Your Twitter handle, and I'll do a little tweet in a second, everyone, if you're listening, so you can find out more. At Past Postcard, Tom Jackson is the author, in inverted commas. And the book is Postcard from the Past, and it is it's just delightful. You know, it's in an age of cynicism and all kinds of nonsense online. It's charming and it's delightful, and it made us smile a lot today. So thank you for that, Tom.
Absolute
Thank
pleasure.
you very much for coming in, dear listener. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. If you want to give me a call, this is the Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Late Night Iain Lee. Unfiltered night talk with the original king of unconventional conversation on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Dear listener. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. If you want to give us a call, you never know what's going. I enjoyed that, by the way. I enjoyed that a lot. I've just tweeted the link where you can buy that book. It's an absolute thrill and a joy. One of the great things about doing a phone-in show is you never know who's going to phone in and why they're going to phone in and what stories they might have to tell us. Well, Maria Patricia has called in from Manchester. Evening, Maria.
Hello there, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm intrigued. I got a very brief, summarised version down my ear of what you've called Info. So I'm just going to sit back and let you tell what you do and why you've called us.
Okay, my name's Maria Patricia. I own a laser clinic in Manchester where I remove tattoos. And this evening, very alarmingly, it's not just one call. I've had many over, so many months.
Yeah.
About, it was a very concerned parent, distraught that their child had gone over the weekend and had a tattoo. Now, the child's 14, and, unfortunately, the law is that you have to be 18 to have tattoos, and it's the same legislation for me to remove them as well. You have to be 18.
Yeah.
So this is becoming more increasing. We campaign tirelessly. We go on radio shows, we go on the TV, we write endlessly to our MP, which is Angela Rayner, and we are all the time campaigning about legislation, about the sale of tattoo equipment. It really needs to be sold only to tattoo artists that hold a licence.
So, Maria, are you saying that it's kids giving other kids tattoos, or is it disreputable tattoo parlours that are doing it?
I wouldn't say parlours. I would say that it's people thinking that they can make a quick buck.
Right.
The tattoo industry is rife at the moment. Going back a couple of years ago, it used to be 1 in 7 people had tattoos, and now it's 1 in 5.
Oh, blimey.
So there's definitely money out there to be made. It's a thriving industry, and everybody's, trying to make a quick, easy buck. The problem is, when you're doing it in a bedroom, you don't have a licence. You have to think about, the safety, about whether the needles, whether they're used needles, whether everything's sanitised. A lot of places, a lot of people, rather, the people that aren't doing it right, I've had pictures sent in to me where they've been done on tabletops in a kitchen.
Oh, blimey.
It's just unbelievable. But I just urge and beg all parents to actually talk to their children. It's not a taboo subject. It's out there. We've got all the celebrities having tattoos. It's all in the social media. All your pop stars have got tattoos. And we need to talk and educate our children. The age I think that I mostly get is people coming from the age of maybe 18 to maybe 25. That's a real big age that we have coming in to remove.
And Maria, are they coming in because someone has done a crap job, or just because they've a couple of years down the line they've regretted it?
Both.
Right.
Definitely both. But unfortunately, we are getting more children. I mean, there was a story not very long ago in the papers. I think it was about a year ago, and it was down south, and it was where a child, age 15, had got some tattoo equipment, and he was tattooing all his friends for £5 each. The council came along, they found out, took all his tattoo equipment away from him. But the mammoth task then that council would have is actually offering each and every one of those children hepatitis C tests, because he couldn't remember whether he'd changed all his needles or not. And this is what the tattoo industry is facing at the moment.
Flippin' heck, that sounds bleak. I'm not a fan of body art, right? I've never really got it. I'm slightly less anti it than I used to be. And my brother is a tattoo artist, and the key word there is artist, because it is a skill and it takes years and years of practice, and it is art, but to think that someone's going around to someone's house because they can do it for a £5 and get it done up, and you're saying that kids as young as 14 are doing it?
Yeah, definitely. If we've got proved evidence in the clinic of this. But it's so sad because obviously we can't remove the tattoos, but going back about a year ago, one child, was going to be expelled, and we had to write letters to say that, unfortunately, they do have a duty of care to educate that that child, rather. And I also have to follow legislation. I can't remove them until they're 18.
How good is tattoo removal now? Because I remember in the 80s that it wasn't brilliant, and it would kind of leave lots of scarring and stuff. How good is it now?
I think it depends who's doing it.
Right, yeah.
Again, you get the good and you get the bad. We work with really tight legislation here. My own husband is a doctor, so all our aftercare is absolutely on point.
Yeah.
And the lasers, they're getting more advanced. The black ink, usually is a wavelength of a 1064. And then there's also Pico Shores that take out the colours as well now.
Right.
So they are getting better and better, and the results that I have, are pretty incredible.
I'm still reeling at the thought of 14-year-olds getting it done. One of my big... I don't know why this is. I'm such a silly man, but I do worry about my kids getting older and wanting to have tattoos and stuff, and I just don't get the attraction of it at all. It does worry me. But if they're going to get it done at 14, then boy, oh boy, they're going to get a thick ear.
I think that we've got, it's all in the social, it's all in the media, and when we get in the, we've got pop stars, and we've got, got people like David Beckham, and it's everybody, all pop stars seem to have tattoos, and it's just the in thing at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always been big to have tattoos, but it's at its height. I mean, I can't say that I'm not a fan of tattoos, because actually some of the work that we see through clinic where we faded stuff back and then a tattooist has gone over it, I'm absolutely in awe of some of the tattoo artists' work, and that's what they are. I wouldn't even use the word tattooist now. These guys are artists.
Yeah, definitely. And
some of the stuff is absolutely incredible, but it's got to be done correctly. It's got to be done safely, and it's got to be done at an age where, a person really does know what they want it to be and to represent. For me, a tattoo should be, this is me and this is my story. It's supposed to reflect really who you are, and and that, but for a child, at the age of 14, if you think back for when you were 14, I mean, did you really think that you were going to be a radio presenter at the age of 14?
God, I didn't have all I wanted to do was play games on my BBC Micro. That was it. God knows. 14 is a lifetime. 30 years ago! 30 years ago!
Growing up a little bit too quick, and, but it is the responsibility of parents, it's the responsibility of schools, it's the responsibility of us as a community, that if we know anybody that is doing tattoos in a bedroom without a licence, please, everybody step forward, phone the council.
Yes.
Get your council involved, and they will come away and they will take away the tattoo equipment. I campaign, as I say, tirelessly about the legislation, because you have to look at how they're actually getting the equipment. But
you can just buy it on eBay, can't you? I'm sure I saw a thing on the news a while ago. You can just buy it online.
Well, my son, who was 10 at the time, he had what we call one of these children's Oscar cards. You load the pocket money on there, and they can go and spend online or whatever they want. So we set up an iPad, and we told him to go and buy £50 worth of tattoo equipment. Now, I didn't think this was going to be possible. And as I saw him Google, he Googled into something that I thought, you're not going to get it from there. It's just not going to happen from that site. It's a very well-known site. I won't name and shame.
No, name it. Because I've just gone on Amazon and I found a kit for 45 quid.
Yeah, that's where it was.
$45.99. Popular beginner tattoo kit, set top, 25 colours, 2 guns.
He went on there, he ordered it, and it came the next day, and we didn't have to sign for it.
Oh my God!
And we actually videoed that, and the Daily Mail actually used it. If any viewers want to go and see it, if you type in underage tattoo in the Daily Mail, it's all on there. The video is. It's just of his hands doing it.
That's incredible.
But it's that easy. It's that easy. I've even phoned up. There's even some big tattoo companies, and they're supposed to check your legislation. But I've even phoned up some of those, and I've ordered stuff online, and then I've actually phoned them up and said, "Do you know you just potentially sold some of your tattoo equipment to a 10-year-old?"
Yeah.
And they said, well, they shouldn't be on there. They shouldn't have access to that.
Oh, yeah. It's your fault, yeah.
My children know how to use the internet better than I do.
Maria, Patricia, I'm really glad you called us, and do keep in touch, and let us know. How many calls are you getting a week from parents upset about their kids having tattoos?
I wouldn't say it's weekly. I would say it's more monthly.
Yeah.
But I think that if we actually with this telephone conversation now, I think you will most probably experience a lot of people coming forward. And I know that I did something tonight on a Facebook site where a lot of adults were coming forward saying, gosh, we were tattooed at 13, we were tattooed at 14, we regret it now. And I wish I could get these people and put them in schools and say, look, we really regret it.
Yeah.
Maria, nice to talk to you. Thanks very much for the call.
And you. Thank you very much for having me.
Absolute pleasure. We'll speak again, I'm sure. Maria Patricia in Manchester. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. You're listening to The Late Night Alternative with me, Iain Lee, on Talk Radio.
Late night conversation worth losing sleep over.
Iain Lee.
On air and off the leash.
On Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
My kids are 7 and 5. Your kids are 8 and 5. Imagine their beautiful little bodies covered in tattoos. And one day, do you know what? That would be my biggest fear. I was thinking about this the other day. I worry about weird stuff. Mm-hmm. Catherine joins me in the studio. Good evening, Catherine.
Hi.
My biggest fear. But it really was the other day. So I was really panicking, thinking, what if they get tattoos on their perfect? Because I know every inch of my boys, because we bathe it, because I know everything about them. I know where all their moles are, I know their tickle spots, everything. But imagine if they defiled their beautiful little bodies with tattoos.
I remember my sister getting a belly ring.
Oh!
Despite my dad's insistence.
Naughty lady!
Well, he said, if I ever see you get anything like that, I'll rip it out.
And of course you've had your doodah
No, I have not.
Pierced several times from what I've heard.
I am as the driven snow.
Wowzers.
Literally. I wish I was quite so pasty.
The yellow snow. But, well...
She hid it from him and she was in her mid to late 20s and she hid it from him. But my kids have seen their...
Here we go.
And what I'm hoping is this, right?
Yes.
their uncle and auntie, my husband's brother and sister, have both got tattoos, and my kids don't like them.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that by the time my kids grow up, they'll be old-fashioned.
Don't work like that. Don't work like that. My mum doesn't know that I smoked. And when I was growing up, my dad smoked, and I hated it. And we'd go around with air fresheners and stuff like that. I smoked. I smoked for a few years.
Yeah, but you can stop smoking. It's harder to get rid of a tattoo. Like she said, removal. People think you're going to be as you were before.
But what I'm saying is that we grow up, as young libertarians with full of ideals and stuff. But they change very quickly, and we become our parents.
Don't you think tattoos are... It's already getting to the point where you can date somebody by the tattoos they've got.
Celtic rings, Chinese writing.
Exactly. Dolphin on the old hip bone. Yeah. Very Mark Owen circa 1990.
But it doesn't seem to be going out of fashion. It's just like we use those tattoos now like we use rings in a trees to age it.
You have just reminded me of another brilliant stroke awful programme I discovered over the weekend that I should tell you about.
Please do.
It's called Just Tattoo of Us, right? You get couples in or close friends.
Yeah.
One of them designs the other one's tattoo and vice versa.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
That's dumb.
They have to... Oh, it's totally stupid.
Dumb.
It's a stupid programme from beginning to end, but it is brilliant, right? So, for example, a boyfriend and a girlfriend. They're minor celebrities on the one I saw. I don't think they always are.
Yes.
She's famous for having a bum that popped out of a dress that split.
Cheeky.
He's not famous. He's her boyfriend, right?
Yeah.
So... They both have to wear these...
What channel is this on?
MTV.
Okay, right. The home of class entertainment.
Yeah. And it's hosted by Charlotte from Geordie Shore.
Okay, the Wet the Bed girl.
And Stephen Bear.
Who had a go at me once. Yes, I don't know who Stephen Bear is, but he sounds like a great guy.
He's similar. I think they're together.
Okay.
Or at least... They're supposed to be together.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they oversee this because they're the sensible ones you want to put your skin and indeed your future image in the hands of. And this one bloke, what did he have tattooed on his girlfriend's neck here?
A firing penis. Did he?
An arse.
Oh, for God's... on a neck! Mm-hmm. And they really do it?
Yeah.
This is brilliant.
She was furious.
Oh, God.
She said it wasn't even a nice one. He said, well, I like bums and you like bums. She went, it's not even a nice bum.
So they do it and they can't see what's being done.
Can't see,
and they
right?
choose the location of the tattoo.
Yes.
That's
Another
insane.
one, slightly possessive girlfriend, maybe not slightly, very possessive girlfriend, tattooed an eye right next to his pubis.
I would get tattooed on the face of my girlfriend, if I had a girlfriend, a tattoo of a face of a former girlfriend that I fancied more.
Wow!
Yeah?
Well,
you like?
That wouldn't be unusual on that programme. This is what I'm saying to you. Incredible.
Katie's called in. Good evening, Katie.
Hi, hon. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you, Katie.
Brilliant. I'm just to talk about tattoos.
Go on then, yes.
When I was about 15 or 16, I just thought it was cool to get a tattoo because all the friends had them and they were pretty cheap at the time, and I got this ridiculous tattoo on my shoulder and I regret it ever since.
What did you get? Was it a rose?
It wasn't, no, it was, right, I believe in angels, okay, there's a song in there, but it was the bloody fairy.
Oh, flipping
right,
it.
so I wanted an angel, and they put a fairy on, so I hate it.
Yes.
And it was a stupid thing to do, and I think I was just too young. I think I just didn't get the fact that, when I was older, it was just going to look worse and worse and worse, probably,
yes.
And not good. But when I was married, about 10 years ago, I was going through a lot of stuff in my life, and I believe in angels, so I thought, you know what, I'm just going to spend some money getting something that I believe in to put on my back. So it's basically Raphael's, the two cherubs, one's got the head on the arm.
I know which ones you mean.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's a really beautiful picture.
Yeah.
And he did it on my back, and it was so painful.
Yeah, of course it was. He's injecting you with ink with a very sharp needle.
Yeah, it was very painful, but I did it, and I'm so pleased I did it because it's something that I really love, and it's very personal to me. But I think...
But why do you hate your body so much that you want to defile it?
It's absolutely nothing to do with that. I think it's the opposite, Lee. I think it's the fact that I don't, obviously, who loves their body, but I respect my body enough. Yes. But it's something that, again, I believe in, and I don't care, what people think. But actually, on the same token, I'm a professional singer and I sing on stage, but it's not something that people can see because I do think sometimes they look pretty unsightly.
Yeah.
You're wearing a ball gown or you know, a jazzy dress and you're on stage, and if people see that, it doesn't look great, or if you're going to work or something. And but I've got a friend who, there was a TV programme years ago, it was about body tattoos.
Yes.
And he's one of, like, he's about the sixth person in the UK with the most body tattoos. He's got a skinhead. They're on his eyelids, face, his neck, and
that's a mental illness symptom, isn't it? To have it all over your face and your eyelids, that's a symptom of some form of mental illness.
But I don't know. I think we're all conditioned in society. Think, right, if somebody looks different.
No. But there's looking different and being unique, and there's having your eyelids tattooed.
But that's unique and that's different. And I think if somebody wants to do that...
The thing is, everyone's got a tattoo now, so you want to be unique, don't get a tattoo. But if someone wants to do that to their face, their whole face is covered with tattoos. Come on, Katie. I'm all for people doing what they want to do. You get tattoos, that's groovy. But if you're covering every inch of your face with tattoos, including your eyelids, that is a symptom of something not quite right.
I hear what you're saying totally. So I had a discussion with this guy, and I said exactly the same to you. It's same as you've said to me, and I said, well, is there some... I said, why do you want more? Why do you want more tattoos? He said, because I'm showing my individuality in life. I'm showing who I am.
Oh, God.
And then, but I did say to him, but aren't you searching for something? Aren't you looking for something better in yourself, or prove to somebody, to yourself, you're searching for something that's not there? And he went, no, I generally am doing this for myself. I'm unsure.
Yeah, but he would say that, just like an anorexic will say that they are starving themselves or feasting themselves because that's what they want to do. Like an alcoholic will say he's going to the pub because that's what he wants to do.
Yeah,
they're out of control.
Isn't it? But who's to say he's out of control? Why is that?
I am to say he's out of control because somebody has to.
Okay, but that's what he wants to do in his life. That's what he wants to do.
It's nuts.
And, well, okay, people may think that, but...
No, it is. It's a symptom of it's a symptom of something. I don't quite know what it's a symptom of, but at the very least he's addicted to it.
Right, okay. I don't know, Lee. But he's a genuinely nice guy.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people who've got tattoos...
Yes.
People feel threatened by them. They feel that they're nuts, possibly. Or...
No, I'm not saying all people with tattoos are nuts. But I'm saying this guy is mentally unwell.
But you can't say that.
You can, and I am. I'm saying it in the same way that an alcoholic is mentally unwell.
In your perception of people that have got tattoos.
That's not. No, you're not hearing what I'm saying. I'm not.
I am.
No, you're not, Katie, because you've just, and it's Iain, by the way. You've just attributed something to me I didn't say.
So say again, then.
I will do for the third time. I'm not saying this about everybody that's got tattoos. I'm just saying it about this guy. This is a symptom of some form of condition.
What, because he's got it on his face? And
because every inch of his body is covered with tattoos, including his eyelids, yes. In the same way...
It is an addiction. I think maybe it is. Maybe some people feel...
So you agree with me?
But, you said before that with people were mentally unwell.
No, I didn't say that, Katie. I talked about him specifically. Addiction is a mental illness. So, yes, you agreed with me. You're addicted because you're having a drag on a fag. You know what I'm saying? Addiction is an illness.
But it's not...
You just said he was addicted. You just said he was addicted.
He may be addicted.
You just said he was.
He may be.
Okay, well, addiction is an illness.
He is. But let people...
I'm not stopping him.
No,
Katie,
I know you're not.
He can do what he wants, but I worry that what he's doing is displaying a symptom of something else.
But it makes him happy, and I've asked him this.
It makes pissheads happy to go to the boozer at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Well, that's totally different.
No, I don't think it is. I don't think it is at all.
I think when people go to the pub, they've got an illness. That's
what? Well, just everyone going to the pub has got an illness.
No.
You see, that's why you have to be careful about what you say and be really specific.
Well, listen to what we've just said.
No, I know, but you can't assume anything. You have to be really specific, which is what I have been over the last 10 minutes.
Okay,
very specific.
It hasn't been 10 minutes, I don't think. But anyway, this guy is a really nice guy. I think general...
I'm sure he's a lovely bloke.
People's prejudice about people with lots of tattoos...
He's got his eyelids tattooed.
Won't look at somebody like that. They feel afraid, they feel frightened.
Well, that's it. But if people feel afraid, right... So what? That's the thing that he has to... He's made that decision knowing that some people will feel afraid.
I'm saying people don't care. He doesn't care.
Well, that's good.
Got an issue with him.
That's great. That's good for him.
He's actually one of the nicest guys that I think I've ever met.
I'm sure he is.
But the tattoo that I got on my back, this angel thing, when I was married, my husband at the time was just like, why? Yeah. Why would he do that to his body? Why would he do that?
Yeah, why would he do that to his body?
But again, because of my spirituality, and it made me feel good, and it still does.
Having a tattoo of a fairy connects you with spirituality.
No. If you listen to me, it was the angels on the bottom of my back.
Well, no, but you had a fairy done.
Yeah,
fairy
and I
done first.
That, and that's when I was 15. I totally regretted that because I didn't realise, when you're older and it just looks bad, and it had no relevance at all in my life.
No.
But the angels. And that was one of the reasons we divorced. Well, one of the reasons. He just couldn't get it, and it cost a lot of money. It was very painful. But
and you'd rather have the tattoos than your husband?
That's a very personal question, Lee.
It's Ian, by the way. You brought it. You brought the divorce up. You brought the divorce up, Katie. You'd rather have your tattoos than your husband?
Yeah,
that's spiritual.
It's what? Sorry.
That's spiritual.
You don't know what my husband was like, though.
You just said you got divorced. You said you got divorced because of your tattoos.
Yeah, but it's not necessarily spiritual because I was happier getting my tattoo than being with him. You don't know what he's like, so there was lots of other reasons with that. You said the reason you got divorced was because of the tattoos. Katie, I've got to move. Mainly because of her.
Okay. Well, thanks very much for calling, Katie. Hey, yay. 0344 499. There's another unhappy customer. 0344 499 1000. You're listening to the Late Night Alternative with me, Iain Lee.
Talk Radio.
I'm so thrilled. After 11, we're talking to the guy on the cover of my copy of Naked and Afraid, the DVD box set, E.J. Snyder. I'm obsessed with this show. This is Iain Lee, and I'm on Talk Radio.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
Take a far-out trip into the twilight zone of late-night radio with Iain
Unmissable late-night radio with the original king of unconventional conversation.
Make contact with Iain Lee.
Late Night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Seriously, I've told this story before. Indulge me, dear listener. When we were doing the show from New York, a couple of weeks ago now, didn't get to watch much TV because we were so busy. Which is a shame, because I like watching TV when I'm in the States, because you just kind of, you find some fun stuff. And I found this programme, and I phoned up to Catherine. I said, Kath, switch on Channel 9, whatever it was. There's this programme on, right, where these two people are, I think they're in the jungle, right, and they've got no clothes on. And she went, oh yeah, that's Naked and Afraid. I went, what? You've heard of this? And we were watching it in our rooms on the phone going, oh my God, this is the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. And I was obsessed. And while I was watching it, I got my laptop and I ordered a box set from Amazon. And I tweeted it, and loads of people went, that's Naked and Afraid, yeah, everyone knows that, everyone loves that show. And I've never, ever heard of it. And I have got this box set now, and I've got the Naked and Afraid Lost in Paradise box set. And I now come into work really early, before even James Whale has started. What are you in here for, Lee? Because if I get in early enough, we can squeeze in 3 episodes of this before the show starts.
Love it so much. And you can't just watch one episode, can you?
I will never get bored of watching this programme. It is insane. It is brilliant. It is wonderful. It is and just when you think you've seen everything.
And we're not just talking about the fact they've got no clothes on.
Then you go on to the next episode, and it's here's the thing. It seems to be split between the people who are excellent survivalists, like they're climbing up trees and chopping the heads off monkeys and, sucking out the juice. And the people who, like, within 2 days are going, oh my God, I'm dying. I'm dying.
While we watch, we have like a running commentary going on between us. It's always kind of the guy goes, yeah, I'm an excellent survivalist.
Yeah.
I've done this a million times, you know, and we'll go flash forward 2 days when he's licking a leaf to try and get some moisture.
Leaf lickers, we call them. Leaf lickers. Right, but one person who is an incredible survivalist. He's on the cover of this DVD, right? And he got called in because the other two dropped out.
I can't remember what happened. I know he was with a woman who was, and do you know what? He was really sweet with her. Do you remember?
Oh, he was brilliant.
She was really kind of concerned about disrupting the delicate balance of nature, and she wanted everyone to be respectful if they were going to kill something and stuff. And EJ, bless him, took great delight in killing something, because he just said his blood came up and he just went for it. And then he apologised to her because she was really upset about it. Whereas we were watching going, don't apologise, she's going to eat it.
And I mean, I've seen this man's ass naked.
So have I. And ladies, let me just tell you something. EJ bears more than a passing resemblance to Paul Hollywood.
He does. He's on the line now from Fleetwood. Whereabouts is Fleetwood, EJ?
I don't know where the hell Fleetwood is. I don't know if I can say that or not, but I live in North Carolina.
Okay. Hey, listen, man, it's so nice to talk to you. EJ Skull Crusher Snyder. We were blown away. Now, you've done Naked and Afraid. How many times have you done it now?
I've actually done it. I'm the only man to successfully do it, along with my partner, Laura, who was with me in the Amazon 3 times. We did 2 21 days and a 40 day.
Now, the 40 days, this is Naked and Afraid XL, which I've not got onto yet, but boy, oh boy, I can't. Okay. Right, well, first of all, EJ, let's go back. How did you, what's your background? Well, you're obviously, very fit, and you know nature, and you live an extreme life. What is your background?
Well, my background, my folks divorced when I was very young. And when he would come see us on weekends, he was a big outdoorsman. I lived just outside New York City, but he would take us out to the wild.
Wow.
So me and my kid brother just took to learning hunting and trapping and those things. And then I joined the Army at 19, and I spent 25 years in the Army. So I got a lot of training in the Army.
Yeah.
I went to a survival course within the Army and a tracking course, and I was a big-time MMA-type fighter before it was MMA. I was an athlete.
Wow.
And I spent 25 years in the Army. I was in the 91 Gulf War. I went back in 2004 for 15 months for Operation Iraqi Freedom, and I retired as a sergeant major. And after I retired, I went into teaching the Special Forces survival to survive behind enemy lines for about 6 years as a contractor. I was kind of doing TV on the side, and then the Reality World Discovery found me for another show called Dual Survival, which I tried out for. But my consolation prize was to wind up in the middle of Africa as the first man to do this crazy adventure called Naked and Afraid.
Oh man, you are the real deal. The things you must have seen and experienced in your life. When Discovery said, EJ, you're not going to do the dual survival, but we got this show, you're going to be 3 weeks, you're going to be in the jungle, you're going to have to survive using your instinct. Oh, and by the way, there's no clothes. What was your reaction?
Well, it was like a slow roll, because they started talking about it, and then they were like, every week they'd have a meeting every couple of weeks, and they'd take another piece of clothing off like it was strip poker. And so I'm sitting there with the contract in front of me, the final one, I signed it, I sent it off. And I really didn't care. I didn't really read much about it. I just thought, we're going to be out there with really nothing. And I didn't think completely naked. And then my wife read over the contract. She's like, what's this about this naked stuff? I was like, oh, they're just pulling my leg. That's not really going to happen. Well, yeah, it really happened. And, my biggest concern when I threw my clothes in the back of the Land Rover was I going to have a bar stool still at the VFW, Veterans of Foreign War bar, when I got back, because I thought maybe my military mates would disown me.
We had another contestant on last week who was a Mormon, and he explained how uncomfortable it was going back to church the Sunday after the show had aired in the States. Yeah. What did your mates say, EJ, after they'd seen it? And I mean it.
Well, the only audience I was most concerned about was the military and the veterans. and they open-armedly thought I represented them to the best of, the highest level.
Good.
They were very appreciative. My kids and my family know I do crazy stuff all the time, so that was like, oh, that's just Dad. But it's very funny. The guy you had last time was named Jeff Zouch.
Yeah.
Well, Jeff Zouch and I partner up in Naked Afraid XL. And then Jeff and I, later on last season, we filmed Dual Survival together.
Oh,
Jeff
wow.
was like my kid brother.
Oh,
so
wow.
I got a lot of love for that guy.
And here's the thing, right? It genuinely is a brilliant, brilliant show. Honestly, when I saw it, I was blown away. And me and Kath, we'll do 2 or 3 episodes. We did 2 episodes tonight before we come on air, just because I'm just obsessed with it. And when I say, it's Naked and Afraid, we have a lot of reality shows over here, and I'm sure you do in the States, where it is, the naked element will be played on, and it would all... We have a show called Love Island, where basically people go on this island and they're encouraged to have sex. This isn't like that. This isn't sexual. There is no sexual tension between the 2 contestants. This is genuinely 2 people in a very, very dangerous situation. And we saw the photo of the producer's foot where he got bitten and all the skin fell off.
Yeah.
This is a real survival show. This is dangerous.
Yeah. It is very real. People ask all the time, is it scripted at all? The only parts of the show where they have to get you in there, which requires boats, sometimes aircraft, and then when they get you out. And that's about the only time they come in and say, okay, wait a minute, let's do this kind of slow. We've got, it's pretty dangerous when I've operated around boats and water and helicopters all the time, so it was never an issue for me, but my partners necessarily had never... Laura, as a matter of fact, when we got rescued in the Amazon, it was the first time she was ever on a helicopter.
Yeah. Wow.
I was very honored to be the very first person to do this because we filmed the pilot, and the producer, who was Steve Rankin, he was Bear Grylls' executive producer for years. He's from London.
Yeah, we're speaking to him tomorrow.
Yes, he's wonderful. He's my mate. Tell him I said hi.
Yeah, we will do.
Are very close. But he and I were sitting there by the rock about 5 or 6 days into this. He's like, look, mate, if we really don't start kicking this thing off, we're both going to be on a plane in a couple days.
Yeah.
So you really got to step it up. And so that's when I just got in my element. It's as natural as breathing for me out there. And I just went completely caveman and got it straight. And then I was honored 7 months later when I had 6 days to get to the Amazon and pick up where 3 people quit and do it again, which for me is my style of survival. And my brand is to go anywhere in the world with just a knife, and you can call me tonight and tell me I'm leaving tomorrow.
Wow.
I can go anywhere on the planet and feel confident with my skill set and physical prowess that I'll get through it.
And this is the difference. There are a few contestants, and you are one of them, a handful, that obviously love every single second of it. You love every second of it.
Every second. And then they look at me towards the end. The last couple days, I get very saddened, and I'm just coping with things and trying to figure out what did I get out of this time, because every time I come out, that's another story. But I'm sad because I'm leaving, and people say, "Well, why do you keep going back?" Well, every time I go back, I come out a better survivalist, a more changed man, a better human, and closer to God.
Wow. There you go. The thing that blew us away in this box set, Kath, the raft.
Oh my God, EJ.
It's incredible.
Okay, we've seen a few rafts being built on this thing, and with varying levels of success. The raft you built had like a little bench seat. It was a luxury 5-star primo vessel.
Virtually had a little outboard motor made out of twigs and leaves. It was incredible, EJ.
Thank you. That was the Amazon Queen, and it wouldn't have held together if it wasn't for Laura's lashing, because I use a lot of parachute cord to lash things down, and I'm not very good with primitive cordage and lashing, and Laura's brilliant with it. And with that and bamboo sticks, the thing was completely 26 balsa logs, I think 45 bamboo sticks, and about over 100 vines. And that's all I held it together. But we didn't know how many days we were going to be on the water to get to rescue.
Yeah.
There's a lot of 20-foot caiman in the water. There's anaconda. There's a lot of dangerous things. So we needed to be able to fight off this thing. This is why I had some side rails so nothing could jump up on our vessel. The benches, when you pulled the backstops off, were like sleeping benches.
Oh, my.
In case we had to sleep on the boat. So it was very thought out. It was a great raft, and I'm sure that the Peruvians are still using it today to take tours down the Amazon.
And it is properly dangerous. We mentioned the producer we've got on tomorrow, and I tweeted the picture of his foot, and then loads of people complained, so I deleted it.
Because it's horrific.
It is horrific, and it is, you are put in places where there are poisonous snakes, where there are black widow spiders, where there are well, things that can actually kill you. How are you afraid when you're there? I guess you kind of have to be to a certain extent to respect the environment.
No, I'm never afraid.
Right.
I have some concerns, but I'm never afraid because animals will. They say animals sense fear. They can smell fear.
Yeah.
They truly can. Because when you get very scared, you put out hormones like some kind of a chemical out into the atmosphere that they can smell. So I'm an old soldier, so I have adapted my soldier strategies to my survival, the way I move about in my survival situations, to where my head's on the swivel 24/7. I treat nature as if it's the enemy, so that I don't or my partner get hurt before it gets us. So as long as you know where these creatures live, how they act, and fully understand that you're in their environment, but you need to be aware of it, you can skillfully avoid them as necessary and take the right precautions, because you'll see me, the first thing I do in any survival situation, if I'm in a primitive situation where I don't have a rifle or something better, I make a spear right away, because that is a good distance weapon, and it's a smart probing stick, and those fer-de-lance, as they always say, never be the third guy in the line when you're walking, and unfortunately Steve was the third guy that day.
Man. Do you know, you are the man I would want to be naked and afraid with, frankly, and I don't mean that in a sexy way. Well, talk to me about Laura, because when we've only seen the one episode of you two together, and there was some tension there, although I was really surprised that you apologised to her, because I completely understood why you had the attitude that you had when you were sort of hunting. So that relationship must be quite special now.
Yes, we were very close. We've always been very close. We were talking prior to us meeting each other out there about different survival strategies. I really thought that she was the most capable survivalist that I saw on season 1 of everybody. And, I've been teaching this stuff so I can recognize talent very well. And so when we were out there, when we talked about this animal being able to kill us and literally, it can shoot I think they said 650 volts into your body. That was pretty concerning. So I go to a place as a warrior where we call it the warrior spirit, and I get really ramped up, and I get bloodlusty in my eyes, and I just don't care, and I'm going to go ahead and take care of business because we need to eat. And so she misconfused my warrior spirit with anger. And I had to really come down, and it takes me a while, about an hour, to really come down off that before I could make sense and actually talk straight to her, because in battle, you need that adrenaline, you need that sense.
Oh, yeah, otherwise you get killed, Yeah.
And so she made a statement that it's not war, and I still beg to differ, because I think it's a fight for your life out there. But I know enough that the team was more important than my pride and ego, that I needed to set that aside for the betterment of the team. I offended her. I was kind of making fun a little bit, lightly joking, to try to maybe, get her to ease down. But I realized that it was disrespectful, and it caused her, she didn't like it. And I had to be the bigger man to swallow my pride and ego and make sure that the team came first. And she really mattered to me. And I was glad I did, because I didn't want to leave there with that negativity, because I hate negativity.
Oh, no, you diffuse that situation beautifully. I notice in your biog that you've done some acting as well, and you've appeared in what was one of my favourite TV shows until the very last 25 minutes, when I felt they let me down. But you've appeared in Lost, and I've just Googled it, and there's a great picture of you with Jeff Fahey, the lawnmower man in Lost.
Oh,
what did you do in Lost?
Great friend.
Oh, Jeff is.
Well,
I interviewed Jeff.
In Hawaii.
Yeah.
I was stationed in Hawaii with my last unit, and I was starting to get ready to retire, so I was looking for something else to get ready to do with my life. And I started doing military technical advising for the program. They were filmed completely in Hawaii.
Yeah.
And I did season 3. I was a U.S. Marshal, but they brought me back in season 4 to be the B team leader of the freighter boat mercenaries.
Wow.
And I met Jeff there, and Jeff's a great patriot for us. He does a lot of humanitarian work overseas in the Middle East and Africa, and we hit it off so well. He's still a very good friend.
Oh, wow.
And it was an amazing experience to be part of such a great program, and it was very respected in Hawaii. So
listen,
I really got to be a part of something special.
EJ, I was obsessed with that show, and I got to present a few TV shows over here about Lost, and I was lucky enough. They flew me over to that island twice to go and film like I'm on the set of Lost, and I interviewed Jeff. Man, he is just the nicest guy in the world, isn't he?
Oh, he's top notch. You can't find anybody who's more caring and giving than that guy right there. And he's different than the other Hollywood types. Yeah. He definitely walks a different drumbeat.
What's coming up next? And listen, I'm going to tweet your website because I know he's got some Naked and Afraid T-shirts on there. I know what I'm ordering. I'm going to tweet all that and put all that stuff out there. What's the next project then? Because I get the impression you're a man who doesn't like to sit still.
I don't. And as a matter of fact, I've been working all day because I'm always booking gigs because I do a lot of motivational speaking. I do event appearances. I work for a lot of charities. It's all on my website. I'm a very busy man. I'm working on a book. I write many magazine articles for Knife and Survival magazine.
Yeah.
I'm working for Give Kids the World charity now, which helps terminally ill kids get to Disney World.
Wow.
For an all-paid expense trip for 7 weeks or 7 days. Sorry, not 7 weeks.
7 weeks. That would be a bit excessive, even for the biggest Disney fan.
Yeah, only 7 days, and then. If you go to shirtsickle.com, Reality Tees, EJ Snyder, I have about 12 T-shirts up there for purchase where all the proceeds go to my charity that my
good for you.
Of them. But I'm in the running for about 5 different TV shows. There may be some more Naked and Afraid coming up in my future. But, I just don't rest like you said. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm involved with a ton of different survival gears. I've created my own knife because my knife broke in Africa, so... If you go to topslides.com, look for the S.
God, I can see your knife. Look at the size of... Look at that baby. That looks terrifying.
Yeah, this is Skull Crusher's Extreme Blade because extreme situations require an extreme blade. So you can see that knife, and it will be an XL. My prototype, the final test was done on XL1.
Wow.
So I went out there with my prototype knife, and wait till you see what we do with it. And I just finished filming an As Seen on TV commercial for a fire starter. It's really incredible. Wow. So if you go to my website, ejsnyder.com, all my social media links are there. Please follow me on Twitter, Instagram, at ejsnyder333.
I'm going to tweet it all out there, man.
It's EJ Skull Crusher Snyder. You can't miss it. Get part of the Skull Crusher Nation. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, the official YouTube channel of EJ Snyder. We're rebuilding it. There's a lot of survival information.
Brilliant.
A little known fact about me is I'm a character comedian, so I do a lot of little skit things on there.
Oh, I love you. You're the man I want to be, EJ. I'm a middle-aged, overweight, puny, pale guy. You're the bloke I want to be because you're nice as well with it.
Well, I try to be humble because I know these gifts are from God, and I know as long as I honor Him, I have nothing to fear when I walk my steps in front of me. So my life is a credit to Him because I was a lost man for a long time, not to put a pun on there. And literally my adventure in Tanzania saved everything about my life. And I'm very grateful for it. And so I am on this planet to be an inspiration, a motivation to others, be tough as nails and a good leader when they need me in my community or wherever that may be.
Brilliant.
And teach survival to others. So
EJ, listen.
That's why I motivationally speak. I'm working on a book. If you want me, go to my website, ejsnyder.com, do a contact form, fill it out, and I'd love to come out that way and do some speaking and be at some events.
Listen, you've got our details. You're welcome on this show anytime. You've got an open invitation, EJ, I promise you. And also, when the book comes out, let us know and we'll get you on and we'll have a chat about that.
Well, that sounds great. And so I love you guys, and thank you for contacting me. I know we have great fans out there in England. So to all the fans in the United Kingdom, thank you so much for being supportive of Naked Afraid. It's been an honor to be part of it, and I'm not done with it yet. I get a record 4 time out there. But you guys call me anytime.
Thank you, mate.
I'm available to chat.
EJ, it's an absolute pleasure. I can't speak tonight. A pleasure and a privilege. I like him a lot.
He's brilliant, isn't he?
I love him a lot. Honestly, he's so good in this show. And he does this thing that I'm trying to do more and more of, that the Americans do. We notice on the podcast. No shame about selling himself, as he shouldn't. In this world where you've got to shout loudly to get heard, and we as Brits go, well, and I hope you don't mind, I've got a YouTube, I'm not going to mention it. The thing we got from the podcasts, listening to podcasts, and when we're over there, they go on and go, right, I'm doing this, this and this, and you can donate a few dollars here, and you can buy this, and there's also this, and beautiful. I love him. He was brilliant. Thanks for sorting that out.
No problem. He was more than happy to come on, as you heard there. What a pleasant person.
Oh man, I love it. We're late for the ads. Who cares, guys? Only the advertisers will throw us more dollars. But
EJ wouldn't be late for the ads.
EJ wouldn't be late for the ads. EJ would eat the ads. He'd cut the head off and drink its brain juice. I love that. Thank you. The phones are open, dear listener. I'm going to go and tweet all of his details. 0344 499 1000, the late night alternative with me, Iain Lee, on Talk Radio.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Love that. We got the. Don't listen, guys. I know not everyone digs Naked and Afraid as much as we do, but we've got the producer on tomorrow, the guy whose foot almost fell off. And then we may have a little break, but we'll get some more. We'll get some more competitors on in the next few weeks, because I'm obsessed with it. Obsessed with it. It's wonderful. Hey, I tell you, we're trying to. Barry Norman died. That's sad, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can't imagine anyone had a bad word to say about Barry Norman. Film 84 for me. Dun, 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 dun.
I had the pleasure of sitting in an office several times and pretending not to be bothered by the fact that Barry Norman was in the building.
It was you worked with his nephew or something?
His nephew was my boss.
Wow.
He was the boss at Three Counties for a long time. The guy who hired me
Norman,
back in 2000. Mark Norman.
Okay.
And his dad was Barry's...
Norman?
Brother, who was a
Neville?
film director.
Okay.
I think. Or was it their dad that was a film director? Anyway... explains the love of film. Anyway.
Yes.
And Uncle Barry used to come to visit. I remember him standing outside smoking a lot of fags.
But did he really?
Uh-huh.
He lived to 84, he was, I think, when he died. Well, that just proves smoking is good for your health.
Absolutely.
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, every film reviewer for me is pale. Even the magnificent Mark Kermode, who I think is just majestic. But everyone pales in comparison with Barry Norman.
Yeah, it kind of annoyed me that a lot of people were saying, "Oh, he's the guy that coined the phrase and why not?" He never said it.
Did he not? No.
No.
Yeah, I read that, and I read that he didn't say it.
It was flipping Rory. What's his name?
Rory Bremner.
Yeah.
The Mail Online, of course, posted a picture of Barry Took.
I couldn't believe that.
I thought
Barry
it was
Cryer, wasn't it?
Barry Cryer, sorry, yeah. Barry Took. There's a blast from the past. Barry Cryer. Someone sent me that. I said, oh, that's a funny mock-up. No, they actually posted a picture of Barry Cryer under the headline Barry Norman dies. And then online, we talked about famous Barrys online, as one does, and Barry Island.
Barry Lyndon.
Who's Barry Lyndon?
Oh my goodness, it's a brilliant film with Ryan O'Neill in it.
Oh, you know who directed that?
Winner?
No. It's the guy that directed If with Leslie Anderson.
It's a beautiful
Lindsay
film.
Lindsay Anderson, yeah. Barry Cryer, Barry Took, Barry Sheen, Barry Court. That was it. But then we got talking about Michael Aspel.
J.M. Barry.
Yeah, sure, give you that.
That's it.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Then we got talking about Michael Aspel, and I said, well, why isn't Michael Aspel on TV anymore? And someone said, is he dead? No. Someone said, oh, he's old, he's probably resting. But I'm sure I remember Michael Aspel going on This Morning sort of 2 or 3 years ago, recently, he's 84, and bemoaning the fact that he couldn't get any work as an older gentleman.
But was that... Right, he did a spoof documentary, didn't he, where Pamela Anderson said that she'd had an affair with him and stuff.
Oh, well, apparently I didn't
So
see
I
that.
wonder whether that was all part of the run-up to that.
It may have
being
been
morose and...
No, it was a genuine, I think it was a genuine, I can't get work, which is crazy because he's brilliant. I mean, he was never the most probing, interview. It was always a gentle chat with him, but that's fine.
He was charm personified, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Class. We used to have a show, I know you probably don't remember it, called The 6 O'Clock Show, which is where Danny Baker got his big break, and that was hosted by Michael Aspel. I don't really remember Ask Aspel, but Aspel and Co. Aspel and Co. Saturday nights, I think that was on ITV. I remember the Monkees being on there. I remember George Harrison and Ringo Starr being on there in the days when you could go on and smoke as a guest, and Ringo, I think, was pissed. So we're trying to track down Michael Aspel for a little chat.
His agent a message. Let's see what happens.
I mentioned a couple of weeks ago a mysterious letter I was writing to someone. I've not had a reply, so I'm going to say who it was. Richard O'Sullivan. Richard O'Sullivan, star of Man About the House, Man About the House, Robin's Nest was
Me
the
and My
spin-off.
Girl.
Me and My Girl, Dick Turpin.
Oh, I loved that.
Oh, God, it was great. And he kind of retired a while ago. I think he may have had a little problem with the juice. I certainly know he had a stroke about 10 years ago, and he lives in a care home now. And I always thought it was impenetrable, but on my record label, my business partner Glenn, as a little side project, released the Dick Turpin theme. He sold precisely 7 copies of it. You can get it, 7A Records, Dick Turpin theme, it's out there. And he released the Dick Turpin theme, I think, for Record Store Day. And he sent a copy to Richard O'Sullivan at this care home, expecting nothing of it. A week later, he got it back signed.
Oh.
Signed. So I thought I would take my chances, and I sent a little letter saying, look, I'd love to interview you. Failing that, if you just want someone to come and have a cup of tea, come and have a cup of tea. I've heard nothing back. And I expect to hear nothing back. But that would be an interview.
I think if we've learned anything from 2017, it's ask.
Yeah, no, exactly. The number of people that come back and say yes, and you never know. I'm still holding out hope that Richard, that letter is sat there and Richard is considering. And I sent a letter, it's a proper old-fashioned thing.
I do find that with these interview requests, the Americans are more forthcoming than the Brits for some reason. Maybe they're expecting snideness, and I don't think that's necessarily because it comes from you, just because if you've not been visible in show business for 20 odd years and you used to be massive, maybe they're expecting someone to get them on and take the mickey out of them.
I'll never forget when I interviewed Paul Daniels when I was at Absolute. He was on guard for the whole interview, and I've spoken to other people who've interviewed him, and he was on guard for the whole interview, waiting for but really, I think you're crap. And it wasn't. It was on the phone, and I was just sat there with a ridiculous grin, because he was, when I was 8, he was Mr. Saturday Night. I had the Paul Daniels magic set, and it was, and I was obsessed, I got into Ali Bongoers and all of this, and it's sad, isn't it? But I can understand why, because, we're talking to Tom about his book, The Postcard Book. We're living in the age of the snide, and I have a history of being snide. The 11 o'clock show and other stuff I've done has been snide, and mean, but really we think you're crap. And actually, the thing I did with Eddie Large, I think Eddie was, at some point was waiting for the punchline, and then when he realised there wasn't going to be a punchline and it was genuine, and I said, look, I'm going to lose money on this, but I want, it's about the thrill of doing it. He kind of embraced that.
And that event was amazing.
Good, wasn't
well
it?
Worth doing.
It was good, that. I enjoyed that a lot. But, hey, Tom, I'll come to you in a second. August the 11th, is it? Is it August the 11th or August the 2nd?
What?
Who am I meeting for a coffee? Give you a clue. Ooh, baby, do you know what that's worth?
Oh,
I'm meeting Belinda Carlisle in Starbucks.
It's not the 11th, because that's the day before my birthday, and I'd remember that.
Okay, is it the 2nd? It's in August. It's in my diary.
I reckon the 4th.
Okay, sure.
But it's in my diary.
It's in my diary. It's in her diary. Ian's in Belinda's diary.
It's not. It's in her agent's diary.
Ian Lee is in Belinda's diary.
It's not. You're not.
She's
no, you are.
worried about what she's going to tell her husband.
She's not.
Ooh, baby, do you know what that's worth? Love is a big, scary animal.
Do you know what my favourite one of hers is?
Yeah, go on.
Darling, leave the light on for me.
Oh, I'd like to leave the light on for you. Tom's on the line. Good evening, Tom.
Hello, Ian.
Hello, Tom.
Let me just turn the phone. Yeah. It was just about the tattoo. I've spoken to you before, Ian, on the flat Earth business with Sharon.
Oh yeah, you're the potty mouths who believe the Earth is flat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm pretty convinced now, actually.
What's the latest evidence from the flat earthers?
Do you know what? Since I'm kind of since they're still going on about it. It's getting bigger and that on YouTube, on Facebook and all that. But I haven't really been. I'm interested in that. There's another story about what I've been interested.
What are you into?
I'm convinced about it's flat, but I'm almost more interested because it's breathing the earth, it's alive, and it's got like a pulse and everything.
What?
I'm more interested in what it is.
Hang on, what is it? What is the earth?
Well, the earth.
Yeah. Yeah. What is the earth?
Well, it's alive, isn't it? Well, things grow and and it's breathing with the lights and the northern lights and all that. So it's alive. So I'm more interested in what if it's possibly that it is any is some, you know what I mean? More to it.
Here's the thing. I don't know what you mean.
Mother Earth, if you like.
Yes, but do you think the Earth is sentient?
Yeah.
So the Earth can think.
Hey. What?
Yeah.
I've got a little bit outrageous, actually. What I think.
Let's hear your Earth theory, because honestly, it can't be more outrageous than some of the stuff we have on this show.
Well, first of all, I realise it's all about sound. Yeah, the Earth likes music. It likes it. Think about Earth, ear, spell it ear, Earth, the ear.
Ear.
I don't really think I don't think space is spacey, but I think that's water beyond its eye.
Space is ace.
Being its eye.
What? So hang on. What space is the Earth's eye?
Sorry?
Did you say space is the Earth's eye?
No, I think space is just the other side of the lens. It's eye. If you imagine something huge, we've got no conception of size really, have we? When say what the universe is so many million bazillion miles and that, so we can't really go on size. But I think it's a. I can't say it's going to be too embarrassing, but
go on, say it. Say it. Don't be embarrassed, Tom. No one knows who you are. Say it. Go on.
I think. I'm not saying it's exactly like the ones on Earth, but it's a.
Go on, say it, Tom.
Earth is basically we're on the shell. Well, the Earth, the Earth.
Yeah, the Earth
is like the shell of.
Go on, say it.
Giant. I mean, the unbelievable giant-sized squid. Yeah, and I don't know. I think the two of them. I think there was like an octopus.
Hang on.
Okay.
That you think the Earth is a giant squid? I've never seen a flat squid.
Yeah. Well, a flat squid. Sorry, no, but it's not.
Because you thought the Earth was flat.
The surface of the Earth is like it's on its. It has a protective like shell. Octopuses then, but they have like these protective.
Yes.
What's the word? Skull shell kind of thing.
Skull shell. Yes.
And I think that they're all transparent as well. So we probably wouldn't even know. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Their eyes have got mirrors on the back of them. So if it is a sky, it's all masters of.
You called in about tattoos tonight, Tom. Let's try and get on firmer territory with tattoos. Even though I'm enjoying the stoned ramblings about the Earth. Let's hear about tattoos.
I've got loads of foos on like that, but I'll do for you forever. But the tattoos, I mean, I think them ones where they can test them out and they look really real is a good idea. People should really.
Oh, like the ones where you lick your arm and then you rub the tattoo on.
Yeah. Those you get them these 3D ones, is it like? And
3D tattoos? What? That like stick out of your arm?
I don't know. What is it? There's ones you can get that last about so many weeks and that, and they're quite convincing though.
So you're suggesting that people should get a 3D tattoo just to see if they like it. Then if they like it, they can get. But sorry,
if they're considering having a tattoo,
yeah.
Because I mean, I've had a few that I've got about 5 tattoos, and I like about one of them.
What's the worst tattoo you've got, Tom?
Worst tattoo? Oh God. Well, the name of an ex on my chest.
What is it?
No, it's not the worst. No, I quite like it, actually, because he's my baby's mother. But my worst tattoo...
Yeah?
Probably like a masked man, like a mysterious kind of cloaked kind of octopus now.
Yes. Mysterious masked squid.
Guy like sprinkling stardust or something.
Stardust or something, yes.
Because back in the 90s, everyone was getting things like Tasmanian devils and all.
Oh,
like
God,
that.
weren't they? I hate the Tasmanian devil. What? He was a crap character.
Yeah. I mean, luckily they weren't the biggest. They weren't the easiest to cover because they're only little. But I was having several mates that had different types of cartoon.
Yes.
Tasmanian devils.
Oh God, I do. Well, Paul, Tom, it's always great to talk to you, mate. Thank you so much for that.
And I think it's also down to choice, and people, if it's not affecting anyone, people, it's their choice, isn't it?
But we're the ones that have to look at it.
Yeah, that's true, but we don't have to look at it because we can look away or.
I don't want to look. I want to look ahead, and if
it's about a job, then that's affecting someone. So then maybe they shouldn't have the job.
I would make tattoos illegal. I would ban them, and if you had a tattoo, you would be executed. I mean it.
Yeah.
If I were the king of the world.
What if you want to have one of the celestial gods on your arm, like an octopus or something?
I hadn't thought of that, actually. Yeah, the celestial octopus. Well, thanks, Tom.
Power, isn't it?
Yes, it certainly is. That was a great call, Tom. Thank you very much indeed. I got a lot from that. The main thing is 0344 499 1000. No, me neither.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
Ah, dear listener, it really is a late night show, isn't it? You can call in about absolutely anything you want. I'll go through the papers in a bit, and why have I written that down? Oh, things you hid from your parents. We can do that as a phone-in. I can't remember where that conversation came from, but we can do that. Things you hid from your parents. I was going to do as well, I tell you what I don't like. I'll tell you what I don't like. We can do that. I'll tell you what I don't like. It's this new trend for lycra leggings, where there are little sections of it made of like a netting material. Do you know? We saw a waitress. Where was this? In the burger place round the corner, and she was wearing these black lycra leggings, but behind the knee was an area that was it was kind of opaque. I don't like that, and you see that more and more. 0344 499 1000. I'll tell you what I don't like. Jerry's on the line. Evening, Jerry.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you, Jerry. How are you?
Doing a bit in and out at the moment.
Yes.
I've got some famous Barrys for you.
Oh, yeah, we're doing famous Barrys as well, of course,
Barry
yes.
Bethel.
Clip Bang.
Slim Fast Plan.
Yeah. Oh, okay. No, who was the Clip Bang guy?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
No, don't ring a bells, that doesn't.
No, okay.
Barry Manilow.
Yeah, we go. We're doing a full list of Barrys, yes.
And there's John Barry. Or Chris Barry.
Well, both. We got both. John Barry was the composer, wasn't he? Did all the, E.T. and stuff, yeah.
And do you know the Sullivan, nice guy? I've read to his nursing home once.
Yeah.
Saying about his dick-tube in prison. His sister wrote me a letter back saying he read it and he thanked him for it. He'd do his autograph. It takes him ages to write an autograph.
Yeah, it does. He's not very well, bless him. So I'm expecting to hear nothing back. But even if he just gets the letter, and hopefully it doesn't upset him too much, and hopefully it might just bring a little smile to his face.
I won't expect him to reply to all of
yeah.
But that Bundy Carlisle song, Leave a Light On, did George Harrison do the guitar solo on it?
Oh, I don't know. Well, I will ask her when I have coffee with her in a few weeks' time.
I can't figure out because I turned the sound down.
Ed, I know you're leaving tomorrow, but could you turn Catherine's microphone on, please? Unbelievable.
He's getting his revenge.
Actually, Ed, can you turn Catherine's microphones off? Oh, go on, just put it on and be kind to her. But I don't know if Catherine wants to say something.
Yeah, you're meeting her on the 8th, I've discovered.
Thank you very much indeed. And,
Unless I intervene, and I might if you carry on.
Well, we might. There may be no show on the 8th, as I will be eloping to not Golders Green, not
Gretna Green.
Thank you very much indeed. That's
It's
where.
in this country.
Sorry?
It's in this country.
She lives in this country.
She lives in this country.
I think she lives in Brighton.
Aren't you thinking of Tiffany?
I think we're alone now.
Yeah,
Steady.
Tiffany married an Englishman.
Yeah, no, I think Belinda Carlisle lives in this country.
She's lost it, she has, Tiffany.
No, shut up, man. What are you talking about?
She looks like a baggage.
Yeah, get
She
out.
does
I'm
not.
cutting Jerry off. I don't do that very often, but he's getting cut
Outrageous.
off. Evening, Paul.
Sitting in an English garden waiting for the sun. The sun don't shine. Ian.
I'm the Walrus. There we go. Well done. Beautiful.
I am the Walrus. I was in the English garden today waiting for the sunshine.
And did it come, sir?
You know what? I got fascinated by the clouds.
Yeah.
It was so beautiful.
Hey, this is the thing, right? And I don't want to sound like an old head, okay?
But
yeah,
clouds are incredible. Why don't we pay more attention to clouds? Because they are just like moving works of art.
I get sucked into clouds.
Oh, God.
So everything,
I hope
different
not.
shapes, different weight in them.
Yeah. And it's made up of... They're just water. They're amazing, clouds.
They just float on by, don't they? They're beautiful.
Clouds don't care.
But look, the sun did get through eventually. And I was sitting there and I was thinking, isn't this... Because you just mentioned what is Earth.
Yeah.
And I thought this planet Earth is so sensationally beautiful.
Yeah.
It's just mind-blowing.
He's right. It is. And here's the thing, right? Us humans are here for but a blink of an eye, okay? We will be gone one day, and planet Earth will carry on without us for billions more years.
Well, I was thinking this, right? There's cold rocks out there, there's hot rocks out there, but there's nowhere like planet Earth. It's just so majestic and beautiful.
Yeah, it's good.
And then I thought something else, Ian.
Yeah.
And this is really head stuff.
Uh-oh, go on.
We are the only people who are conscious of this. Nobody else would ever even acknowledge it, you know? It's only us human beings that are aware of how beautiful it all is.
Well, there, Paul, is a great philosophical question.
Thank you.
No, it's a great one. Can animals experience beauty? I don't know if they can.
They just live on instinct, don't they? We can package beauty, we can appreciate, we can stand back and we can reproduce it, you know?
Yeah.
So we're part of something incredible because this Earth is so magical, and yet we're the only people who can recognise this. And it's religious to me, you know? It's like it's beyond the norm.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
whether one is religious or not, it is. Once you consider the Earth and what it is and the things around, it is a spiritual thing, you know, whether that you are of a faith or it is a spiritual connection. Thank you for that, Paul. That's a lovely call.
Oh, thank you, Ian.
Thanks, mate. Have a great night. Ta-ta. I enjoyed that.
I wonder whether some animals can experience beauty, you know. There
Go
are some
on.
animals that create amazing, for example, nests that are like intricately done. For example, the house martin, it builds that kind of round
It's happy hour again.
No, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really precise. Or, you know, the honeycomb of the bee. If they didn't care about what it looked like, they'd just slap it together, wouldn't they?
No. There was a great... I remember studying this at college when I was doing psychology. There was a great experiment where they gave spiders different drugs to see what effect it would have on their web building. And I can't remember. I know that when they gave them speed, it started off being really ornate, and then it just went the kind of it became a very rushed job.
Yeah.
When they gave them LSD, it became like this weird. Because a spider's web is amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. But the LSD, it became this weird kind of thing. And if you Google it, that spiders on drugs, honestly, it's a brilliant...
I can't believe some of the things I Googled on this
I remember
show.
about 5 of them, and they were all really significantly different. So what I'm saying is, give...
yeah, but that means that they've got a plan and they...
Nature's plan, God's plan.
And they have a set view of how it should be.
Here we go. Let's celebrate something beautiful. And I may have heard this before.
Yes.
Go on, what have you got?
Well, the different shapes. So
those are the pictures I had at college.
Marijuana, it's got a big hole in it like a
into
doily.
the corner, isn't it?
Caffeine's all over the shop, like a stained glass window. LSD, it's all in the middle.
Wow, isn't that funny?
And in the corner, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Good for them.
Mary Jo, they can't be bothered.
Mary Jo, listen to the straight. I think she means Mary Jane. Speaking of beauty, I think I've heard this before, but Sam just texted this in, and I've typed it in, and we're going to hear this. This is I'm on a bit of a Beach Boys jag, and we're discussing beauty. So let's play this. This is the most beautiful song ever written, but just the vocals, okay? So just indulge me. It's only 2 minutes and 43 seconds long, so just indulge me with this, if you would. Edward, if you turn the microphones off, please.
I may not always love you, but long as there are stars above you, you never need to doubt it. I'll make you so sure about it. God only knows what I'd be without you. If you should ever leave me, though life would still go on, believe me, the world could show nothing to me. So what good would living do me? God only knows what I'd be without you. And God only knows what I'd be without you. If you should ever leave me, though life would still go on, believe me, the world could show nothing to me. So what good would living do me? God only knows what I'd be without you. God only knows what I'd be without you. God only knows what I'd be without. And God only knows what I'd be without you. God only knows what I'd be without. God only knows what I'd be without you. God only knows what I'd be without. God only knows what I'd be without you. God only knows what I'd be without. God only knows what I'd be without you. God only knows what I'd be without. God only knows what I'd be without. God only knows what I'd be. God only knows what I'd be without. God only knows what I'd be. God only knows. How was that? Was that cool?
How was that, says Bruce Johnston in the fade out. Was that cool? Oh, shivers down the spine. Shivers down the spine. I think Carl was 18 or 19 when he sang that. A baby. I'm really digging the Beach Boys at the moment. They've just released this brilliant double CD called 1967, I think it is, 68. And it's a remastering or a remixing of their album Wild Honey, which is, I just think, is a wonderful album. It's when they'd kind of taken too many drugs and they'd stripped everything back, and it's this beautiful stereo mix of it, and then there's loads of outtakes, and I listen to the stereo mix of it. Oh, God, you hear all this stuff. And I know that as one of my favourite Beach Boys albums. I know it inside out. But I'm hearing all of this stuff I've never heard before. It's marvellous. They really are. The Monkees are my favourite band, but the Beach Boys are, without a shadow of a doubt, the best band in the world. What a great 2 hours of radio. We have another hour to go, dear listener. Things you hid from your parents. I'll tell you what I don't like. Famous Barrys, and now we're kind of discussing art. And Paul poses a brilliant question, indirectly. Can animals appreciate beauty? Oh, remind me to tell you about the cat video as well that I saw today. I tweeted it. It made me laugh a lot. 0344 499 1000, the late night alternative with me, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Talk Radio.
For some reason on Twitter and my timeline, lots of people are saying they were the posh ones on their estate. I used to get beaten up on my estate, my council estate, for being posh. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. My name is Iain Lee. Good evening, and you're listening to Talk Radio.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
He has made a covenant with the night, and with the darkness he is in agreement.
Uncut after-hours conversation for the up-all-night generation. Late Night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Here's the thing, bands. On the week that the Stone Roses split up again and Spandau Ballet split up again, here's the thing, bands. The things that caused you to split up in the first place will rise up when you reform and cause you to split up in the second place. It's like getting married to the same person for a second time. You may feel all excited and horny and remember what turned you on, but very, very quickly, guys, you remember why you got divorced. And Mr. Spandau Ballet, I'm sure that is what has happened to you. 0344 499 1000. Just a quick note, Paul in Stoke Poges has emailed in. Paul, I'm not refusing to answer your call. I don't answer the calls. But if you remember last week, we just said maybe sit this week out. Just sit this week out. That's what we said.
He phoned when we were in the middle of quite a long guest.
Yeah. Sit this week out.
Which you'll know if he was listening.
Yeah. Sit this week out. Tony's called in. Good evening, Tony.
Hi, how you doing, Ian?
I'm doing all right, Tony. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I've got a little bone to pick with you, actually.
Oh, go on, pick my bone.
Yeah, okay, right. Last show you did on Friday night, towards the end, you had another Tony on there, and you was talking about science.
Okay, well, I don't remember, but go on. I had another Tony on and we were talking about something. Right, okay, yes?
No, it's Tony and Barnett. Anyway, okay, so, I want to put something to you. You was talking about scientific facts, and, you know, that lot.
Oh, I remember, yeah, he was the guy that, ghosts, talking about ghosts.
All right, well, look...
Because you sound like you're up for... You could have me against the ropes in a verbal argument.
Well, look, I could have a go, like, you know, I mean, Schrödinger's cat. Think about that one, if you know what it means. Scratch head.
I know exactly what it means. What do you think it means?
I know exactly what it means as well. It basically, you don't know if the cat's dead or alive.
No, you open the box. No.
Come on then, let's have it.
Well, Tony, that's not what it means. Try again. Because you sound like an intelligent man, and you've called in and you've brought Schrödinger's cat. Try again.
Okay, I'll put it back a different way.
No, stick with Schrödinger's cat.
The cat experiment,
yeah.
It proved, that, like, you know them neutrons that they smash together, like, in that big tunnel thing, 18 miles long, like, in Europe somewhere. Basically, like, they've realised that, like, the Schrödinger cat theory is true.
Well, you've not told me what Schrödinger's cat theory is. I don't think you know.
You don't know if something's dead or alive until you actually look at it.
No, that's not what it is. No, it's not whether something's dead or alive until you actually look at it. Want to try a third time?
Go on, you tell me.
No, you tell me, Tony. You brought it into the conversation. I know the answer, but I didn't bring it up in the conversation. Give me third time.
Pull it up, right. I was listening to you, like, the other night.
No. Third time lucky. What is Schrödinger's cat? What does it prove?
It proves, neutrons, when they slide against each other.
No,
it
doesn't. No, it doesn't prove neutrons.
Go on then. What's it prove? What's it prove, Ian?
I'm not going to tell you, Tony.
Oh, you get... Come on.
Well, I didn't bring it into the conversation. I'm not here to... It's not a dick measuring competition. I'm not here to show everyone how intelligent I am, but I didn't bring Schrödinger's cat...
You're trying to do a James O'Brien on me, are you?
Well, no, I'm going to give you the gift of self-learning. Why don't you go away and before you phone up to have a pop and start being all clever with your Schrödinger's cat, go and read about it and look it up and study it like I have done. And then when you know about it, you can come back and we can talk about it.
Yeah, so you don't know if it's dead or alive until you open the box when you put all the poison in it, do you? Exactly.
No, you're not close. You're not even close. No.
Yeah, I am close.
No, you're not. You've described it. You've described the box. You've described the cat. You've got the poison eventually.
You know it's dead or alive until you open the box.
But what does that? But what use is that to us?
That means it's in two places. It could be. Here we go. At one point.
Here we go. We're getting close. We're getting closer to it.
It could be dead. It could be alive, but you don't know until you actually open the box.
Right.
That's Schrödinger's cat theory. But you got to. I mean, how can you prove it until you open the box?
No, shall I? Okay, I'm going to help you because this is painful and it's making me uncomfortable.
Okay, go on.
And I don't know if you have the ability to Google it, so I will tell you. Schrödinger's cat is. It's a hypothetical thing. Schrödinger didn't actually put a cat into a box. There was no poison released because there was no cat, there was no box. But he uses that. And by the way, Schrödinger, the cat in the box thing, right? That's like, that's half a paragraph in his entire scientific output. He wrote, that was a tiny thing to him, okay? That was not, but that's the thing that everyone remembers him. That's the thing that people like you remember him for.
Yeah, exactly. But, I mean...
Because you just click onto the little funny stories. But
listen, Ian,
I was about to tell you what it meant, but okay, go on.
Ian, I was just trying to put across the point, like, you know.
Very badly.
I mean, how would you know if that cat was dead or alive anyway?
Right. Schrödinger's cat, the theory behind it is that two things can exist in
the same place at the same time, yes.
Yeah, in two different states at the same time, yes.
Exactly. That's why I was bringing neutrons into it.
Okay, right. What's this got to do with the call on Friday, Tony? I'm very confused, as I suspect you might be.
No, I'm not that confused. I just thought, you know, because I was listening you to rip someone else apart. I thought, I'll try and rip you apart, but I don't think I'm working.
No, not at all. And unfortunately, I've ended up ripping you apart.
Oh, dear. Oh, well, anyway, I'll speak to you later, yeah?
Thanks very much indeed for calling, Tony. I think, although that was 6 minutes of radio we're never going to get back, speaking of ghosts, David Babcock, who I suspect has been on the Sherbets this evening, because he sent me a DM on Facebook, and the spelling was atrocious, and I've seen these Facebooking people, the spelling is atrocious. Now, what will happen is, he will, tomorrow, when he sobers up, he will either say, I was hacked, or it was...
Penetrated by a spirit.
Well, let's speak to him now. Good evening, Mr. Babcock.
How wrong you are.
Sorry?
How wrong you are.
How drunk you are, sir.
No. Pardon my French, but what the chuffing hell was wrong with him?
God, I think he may have been, I don't know.
I think he may have been both dead and alive at the same time.
Yes.
Well, yes. I may not always love you.
Oh.
As long as there are stars above you.
He's definitely drunk.
Mm-hmm.
No, not actually.
Succubus.
But. I'm wondering if you'd like to take part in my little Facebook game.
Sure, why not?
Have you had a look?
Let me, Right.
I'll Phil.
So, I'll describe this for the boys and girls at home.
Okay.
You're sat on a sofa.
Yes.
Wearing a hat indoors. You won't feel the benefit.
I've got a bad scalp.
Yeah, you're going bald. And you're holding something that's covered by a sock.
My sock.
And it says here, bit of fun for a Monday. What is in my sock and why am I distressed? Comment below for a bit of fun. So we have to guess what's in your sock and why you're distressed.
Do you want to read out a few of the guesses already?
Let's have a look at the guesses, shall we? Is it a cucumber?
No.
Christopher Nicholas says, a kind of EU cheese?
No.
Juliet says, is it the remote control and you can't play teletext?
Absolutely not.
You've put no twice there.
No.
Rosie says, is it a hot dog and are you distressed because it now tastes of feet?
And what do I say?
You say neither, love. And Christopher then says, is it a lovely, big, hard cock?
Well, I've been severed, wouldn't it? I'd be distressed.
And what did I say?
Don't be revolting.
Yeah.
More comments. Mark says, is it a tiny Derek Cora?
No.
And Alex says, is it John Leonard's harmonica?
John Leonard?
No.
And Ben Lord says, is it a spook?
A tiny sock
No.
one. Can I have a guess?
Yes.
Is it a chorizo sausage and the distress is caused by the quandary? Do you pronounce it chorizo and sound like an idiot, or do you call it chorizo and sound wrong?
Well, no, but if you ever want to prove that point to someone, just make them say Ibiza. Ibiza.
Okay, one of the two.
You get it.
Is it a candle and your lights have gone out? You got a power cut?
It's no, the lights are in the photograph, aren't they?
Well, that could be a flash photography.
Why don't you describe it, what it looks like to the listeners?
Well, it looks like a candle in a sock, a big fat candle in a sock.
I'd say it's more marrow size than
is it?
Cucumber.
Yeah.
That's very complimentary.
Well,
Oh.
it's not
It's not
modelled.
that.
It's not, okay.
It's not modelled on yourself, is it?
No, I've got a very tiny penis.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay, well, it's certainly given the listener something to think about.
I'm willing to reveal it exclusively on air.
Okay, go on. 034449913. I tell you what, let's get David Babcock on just before 1 o'clock, and we can play I'll tweet a link to that page. We'll call him back at 1, whether he's awake or not, and we'll get him back on. That's 45 minutes of radio. What is David Babcock holding?
What's in Babcock's sock?
And why is he so distressed? 0344 499 1000, the late night alternative with me and Lee on Talk Radio.
Uncut after hours conversation for the up all night generation. Late night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
At Iain Lee, IAINLEE, at Flippin, no G Cath on Twitter, and I've just tweeted the picture. By the way, a couple of things. New episode of The Door into Summer, the homebrew music show I do, is on Mixcloud. Now, here's the thing. Episode 3, it's just growing. It's 3.1 thousand, so 3,100, I guess, is another way of saying that. No, episode 2 has had 3,100. Episode 3 has had about 270. So there's a big drop-off there, so we might knock that on the head.
No, carry on.
Oh? If you go to mixcloud.com/Iain Lee, you can go and hear the lovely music I do. This Sunday is confusing, guys, because I'm on Virgin Radio, starting my new show on Virgin Radio, Sunday mornings, 10 o'clock till 1 o'clock. This first one is, I'm afraid to say, it's going to be pre-recorded. Okay? So I'm sorry about that. And the reason it's being pre-recorded is because we will be in Newcastle doing a show. Now, it's the Rabbit Hole. It'll be 5 o'clock on Sunday evening. It's about a 4-hour drive, isn't it?
It's long.
So get back about 2 o'clock in the morning, and then I've got to take my eldest to the dentist. So we're doing that, and there are still tickets available. There are 266 tickets available. I'm going to say it, guys. We've sold 34. The place holds 300. We had a bit of a rush. We sold 7 over the weekend, but the place holds 300, and we have sold 36.
And I'm going to insist everyone
34.
sits on the back row, so we'll just shout to you.
Yeah. So, we're not cancelling it. We tried. But if you want tickets, if you Google The Stand, Newcastle, Rabbit Hole, they're only a tenner. And if you live in Newcastle and you don't come, we will find out where you are and we will firebomb your property. That is happening. Let's see what people are saying on Twitter about David Babcock's picture. Is it a cactus? It's what the ghost left after it entered him. Waterstones in Uxbridge says, is it his lost childhood? Is it a dead parrot? Pat says, is David Babcock single? If so, would he and the thing in the sock come round for a fish supper? Is it vibrator? Very childish, Ruby. Come on now, for goodness sakes. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. then, God damn it, you can. Oh, there's an interesting thing in the Mirror. Barry Norman's greatest films of all time. Now, how do we know this? Okay.
Because he said.
All right, mate.
It was his job, wasn't it?
That's true. Pick a year, and I'll give you his favourite.
All right, 1998.
Oh, he hasn't got a 1998.
Ha!
He obviously didn't watch any films that year.
No, he's having the year off.
Go on, give us another year.
2000.
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Oh, do you like that film?
Yeah, I do like it, actually, because it's beautiful.
It is beautiful. I don't really get it, though.
That's
okay.
It's slow karate. Slow karate.
On strings.
Well, all the best karate films are on strings. The classical karate films, before Bruce Lee came in and dicked around with the genre, they're all on strings. And so you keep their leg up, they go, ba-dunga, 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 ba-dunga.
Makes it tricky to copy at home, though, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It does. Go on, give us another year.
1979.
Apocalypse Now.
Oh.
Overly long. Tedious.
I've never seen it. I don't think I've ever seen it.
Was that stupid bit where one of the actors, is it...
Brando?
No. The man who played the president with MS in The West Wing, his son had tiger juice.
Ah, yes. Charlie Sheen's dad, Martin Sheen.
Yes, Michael Sheen. Isn't
No,
he?
Martin Sheen.
Yes. Isn't there that scene in there where Michael Sheen smashes a mirror and he cuts himself? But you listen to, there's a documentary about, the documentary about the making of Apocalypse Now is great. I cut myself, but I just carried on acting through the blood.
Of course you did.
Twat. It is a stupid... Stop me, I'm really sorry, I've cut myself. Can we stop for a second, guy? I carried on acting through the blood. Shut up, you idiot. He likes quite boring films. To Kill a Mockingbird.
Oh, no, that's a beautiful film. What are you talking about?
I've never seen it. I've seen
oh,
the cover.
my. I bought that for my dad for Father's Day once. It's brilliant.
Yeah, let's just list the films.
Go on, let's do another one.
Well, go on then. I don't think this has got any
more
legs.
recent. When did he stop doing them? So I can...
He did 2001 to 2011.
All right, so let's do 2010.
Okay, so 2001 to 2011, the Harry Potter films.
Oh, no.
What an absolute chump. Here we go.
I mean, the first one, bless them, they're tiny and all, but they're crap actors, aren't they?
Here we go. This is better. This is Barry Norman talking about movie stars. Schwarzenegger. A humorless, self-satisfied clod. Schwarzenegger is not an actor. He's a human special effect. That's not a bad impression. Not got the voice, but I've got the intonation.
You've got the uppy downiness.
On Elizabeth Taylor. She never seemed to take herself seriously, and there was an engaging sense of mischief. She was always urging me to call Burton Walter, because that was his middle name, and she knew he hated it. But she was also a much better actress than most people gave her credit for.
Yeah.
That's not a bad impression.
Born covered in hair as well.
Was she?
Yeah.
Did she have a tail?
No tail, but she was a very hairy baby. One of those, they get a sort of downy black hair all over. It comes off because it's lanugo. All babies have it in the womb, but mostly it comes off and they eat it, and that's what forms their first poo. That's why it's black and looks like Marmite.
On Robert De Niro. He got up my nose, I got up his nose. He stormed out of the room and I chased after him. We both snarled at each other and I thought I'd better let it go. He was a lot younger than me and a lot fitter than me. I could have been in trouble. This impression is incredible.
Well...
And the last one on Robin Williams. True. Harsh but true. He made no secret of his addiction to drugs and alcohol. But there was another addiction, which became increasingly evident in his own work. To saccharine, tooth-rotting sentimentality.
Well, yeah.
Patch Adams, jeez.
There's
a scene in Patch Adams where some woman's dying of cancer or something, and so to make her laugh, I'll make you laugh. And he just puts on a red nose and looks at her, and she starts laughing. I think, idiot. Absolute.
She feels uncomfortable.
Absolute idiot. As you know, I'm on a diet. Well, I'm not on a... Well, I am on a diet. I lost a stone in a week. That's not sustainable or healthy. Here's the thing. Everyone on Twitter went, some people went, that's really good. And some people went, well, that's really stupid and dangerous. You're not supposed to lose that much. Here's the thing. It's not real. Because I'm on these pills, I don't believe anything that is happening to my body. But for the first time this morning, the scales went to 14 and then went back up to 15.0. It's the first time. And I'm just not eating. I'm drinking a lot of coffee. I was having some of that Huel stuff last week, and I ran out over the weekend. But I'll have some tonight when I go home, and tomorrow, and then just having like a little bit of sushi or something in the evening. That's not particularly. It's not healthy, is it? Really?
Are you hungry though? You're spending all day obsessing about food.
I'm starving. Oh no, I'm not.
Well then.
I'm not. I'm not really. Hey. I bought a scooter at the weekend. I went and bought a bloody scooter. I had a really expensive weekend. I took my car in for an MOT. Oh, God, the drones at the MOT place. Booked in for 12:30, right, for an MOT. I didn't get my car till 20 to 5. Because they phoned up and said, right, one of the tyres has failed.
Mm-hmm.
The other two at the back, they're
borderline.
Yeah, all of that. And I just went, and I knew the tyres were a bit rotten. I went, well, let's just get a full set of tyres. Okay, well, we've got a special deal on blah blah blah.
They always do.
Yeah, I said, all right, yeah, what's the next one down? The next one down was only 30 quid cheaper. I went, all right, put those on, fine. And so this was about 1:30. So then about 3. I phoned them up. So I'm just checking to see if it's. I didn't know if you're going to phone me back or just check. She said, "Oh no, the tyres are on, and it's past the MOT. So if you come down in about 15 minutes, it'll be ready for you." So I got there at 3:15. She went, right. A couple of problems. Oh Jesus! She said, right. First problem is, we got the size of the wheels wrong. So we said it was 14 inch. Actually, it was 15 inch. So the tyres are more expensive.
This is a tyre specialist.
Jesus. She said, the tyres are more expensive by about 100 quid. I said, right.
Whoa.
I said, right, well, see what you can do is you can take those tyres off and you can put on cheaper ones, please, because I'm not spending that extra 100 quid. She said, it's really tricky to do. I said, I don't care.
Your problem.
I said, don't care. Take those tyres off. And what's the cheapest ones you've got in that size? And then the fella came in and he did this, and he said, this is really bad. I'm really sorry. I tell you what, we can do a discount and they'll only be £5 more than you were going to pay. Like, okay, so it's 270 quid's worth of tyres, right? So suddenly I'm down. And then I said, all right, I'll pay it and I'll just take this. It's 3:15. And then the woman said, I can't find the MOT. Oh. I don't think they've assessed it again after the new tyres are on, so it hasn't got an MOT. I went, right, okay. And I was being so calm. I was like, okay, how long do you think we might be? She said, I don't know. It shouldn't be long. It's like this old lady. It shouldn't be long. And then this cocky young bald man came in.
And made things 10 times worse.
Well, you shouldn't have phoned him up to say it was ready. She said, well, she has, and I'm here. How long do you think we're going to be? Well, we've got two jobs on the go at the moment. I said, right, yeah. How long is this going to be? He said, I can't, well, we shut up 5. I said, right. So it'll be done by then. I said, right. It's now 3:30. When do you think it might? It won't be before 4:30. And so I just sat there and I was really calm, right? But I gave him skunk eye. And I was sending out. The bristle. Everyone within a mile radius. Everyone in Slough was on a downer at about 3:30. And they didn't know why. And it's because I was just sending out pure fury. And I went, right, okay, well, this is really bad and is, I'm going to say unacceptable, but I have to accept it because I'm here. I'll just sit here. So I sat at the desk, didn't even go to the waiting room. Sat there for 10 minutes. And then I said to the woman, can I pay now so that when it's done, I can go? She went, I can't run it through. I went, okay. And then she tried to give me some vouchers. I said, no, because I am never coming back here again. And I'm certain. She said, well, you can give it to your friends. I said, I am never telling my friends to come here because this... I know I'm going.
The thing is, it's not really her fault, is it?
No. And I was very calm. And I thanked her at the end. When I got my keys, I thanked her and I said, it's fine, these things happen. So this is 3:30. Then at 3:45, my car pulls up, right? And I said, is my car ready? And the guy said, no, I've told you.
Whoa.
He needs to check the tyres again, otherwise it can't pass its MOT. You're welcome to take it away, but it won't have an MOT. I went, right,
So now this is your fault, is it?
Yeah. He said, these things happen. I said, yeah.
Yeah, that's for you to say, not me.
So I said, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go and sit over there. So I went and sat and I was reading this book. And my car is sat there from 3:45. And then, because I texted you saying they said it would be done by between 4:30 and 5. Then at 25, I don't know what happened because I didn't see anyone go and look at my car. Maybe they must have done. Because then at 25 to 5, lucky I had a book with me. 25 to 5, the woman says, Mr. Lee, your car is ready. And it'd been sat there the whole time. And I think someone went out. They must have gone out and just looked. Literally, it was a look. They put the time. And I went, thank you very much. I'm terribly sorry, but please take these vouchers. I said, no, I do not want to take the vouchers. And but the thing is, I didn't have to apologise because I didn't get angry and shout. I was just angry because they're messing me around. And I only went there just because it's a really famous place, but I've never had anything but trouble there. So 200, so all in all, 300 quid, 30 quid for the MOT, 270 quid for the tyres.
This place, without giving too many clues, the suggestion is that they're specialists and that they do it rapidly.
They can fit these things very, very quickly. Their spelling's atrocious, but, you know.
But
anyway.
Every time I've been in there, they've not been able to do it that day, which isn't massively quick.
0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. The Late Night Alternative with me, Iain Lee, on Talk Radio.
Late Night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Well, my youngest is too young for jumping in muddy puddles, but thank you, Peppa Pig, for your support.
Yeah, we'll do it when she's old enough.
Anyway, expensive day. So I dropped my car off for the MOT, got a cab from Slough to Shepherd's Bush, and I went into a scooter shop because I'd seen a scooter online. I'd been emailing the proprietor for quite some time, and he would often reply to me. I'd email him at 1:30 in the morning because it's when I get home when I'm awake, so I do a few emails, and he would often reply to me. And I walked in, and I left about half an hour later owning a scooter. I bought a scooter. I own a 125cc scooter. It's not a Vespa. It's not, what are the other ones? Palominos? What are they called? Piaggios. Mm-hmm. It is an Aprilia. And it is, I nearly swore then, it's flipping stunning. It's a big beast. It's got these big silver handlebars. It is a beast of a scooter. It's a 125cc. And I bought it, and I got the helmet, and I got the chain. And I was speaking to the gentleman. He was French. It was, I think it's called Central Bikes or Central Scooters. And it's a brilliant shop. And I mean, there's all these big motorbikes and these beautiful scooters. And it's old. It's from 2000. It's done 20,000 miles. So it cost me less than £1,000.
But only one person's owned it.
Only one careful owner.
Which suggests to me someone's loved that.
Oh, and it's stunning. And, and I was thinking, well, maybe I should spend a bit more and, but the cheapest Vespa second hand is like 1,700 quid. And I might not like it. And I thought it's under £1,000 and it's a bit scratched and it's battered, so it doesn't matter if it's lovely. Oh, it's beautiful.
Also, if you decide in a few years' time that you want to upgrade it, then you'll know that you're into them.
Yeah, exactly. And the guy was showing me how to, I can't remember how to put the steering lock on, but anyway, I bought it, and I said to him, right, I don't want you I was so nervous, right, because I'd had that day on Thursday, was it? Thursday or Friday? Thursday, of my CBT. And I said to him, right, I want you to go in. He said, but I want to watch you ride off on this historic moment. He's a very funny man. On this historic day in your life, the day when everything changes.
I bet it is quite thrilling for them,
Yeah, of course. And I said, mate, I don't know. He said, but don't. And I said, so he went in, right? And I drove Shepherd's Bush.
Through the window.
Of course he did. Shepherd's Bush, right? So it's quite busy.
Yeah.
I don't know it quite well around there, but it's quite busy. So I pulled off into into traffic for the first time on my own as a solo rider. And then I got some traffic lights and I stopped, and then I turned left and I went up the Gold Hawk Road about 200 yards, and then I had to pull over because I was bricking it. I was absolutely bricking it. And I'm there and I've got the helmet on and I've got my leather gloves on and I'm going, oh my God, what have I just done? I bought a scooter. And I've got to drive it all the way home to Windsor, obviously without going on a motorway because I'm a learner. And you can go on there on a scooter, but actually I don't want to go on a motorway on a 125 because getting up beyond 55 is going to be a struggle. And I just don't want to.
Well, going to be a struggle. And when you took it to 50, what happened?
Oh, 50, I shat myself. I'm being honest. I totally did. And I sort of knew the way back, and I was going to go up Gold Hawk Road, and then you go to Chiswick, and then you go along the A4. And I had to, first job was to fill it up with petrol. £4.50 to fill it up. And it'll do 100 miles an hour. Do 100 miles on that. £4.50. And so I filled it up, and I took ages to pull out of the garage because I had to pull into traffic and all of this, and it took me 2 hours to ride it home. And every hour I was terrified, but what a buzz. What a buzz. And I did. I was going about 35 for most of it. I took it up to 40 and got a bit nervous and went back down. And then I thought, let's see what this bad boy can do. Went up to 50 and I was terrified, and I took it right back down. And it was incredible. And I'm sat, and it wasn't until because I was driving it like a car. Dom, I'll come to you in a second. 0344 499 1000. I was riding it like a car. And so not at the traffic lights, I wasn't going up to the front and stuff. But then I got to Windsor, and there's loads of stuff going on in Windsor, and it's busy, and it was a hot day. So there was a big traffic all the way from Datchet through to Windsor. And I sat there for about 10 minutes. I thought, I don't need to be stuck in this traffic. I can drive down the centre of the road, pulling in when it is safe, and when the car is coming from the opposite direction. And I did. I went past all these cars that were stuck in traffic. I went down about 200 yards down the middle, and no one beeped me. No one shouted tosser at me out there, because that's what you do on a scooter. And it was wonderful. And then I got home and I parked it in the garage, and then the boys came home and I said, guys, come and look what I've bought. And they couldn't believe that I bought a motorbike. And so they were sat on it, and we started the engine, and they were terrified by the... And then there's the thing. And then we went indoors and we watched, we watched the end of Pee Wee Herman. That's what we watched. And I looked over at my eldest, and he sat there on a tablet with my crash helmet on. Just sat there with the crash, and it was brilliant. You know, it was absolute. I own a scooter, and I might, if the weather is nice, I might ride it into work tomorrow. And I've got nothing on Wednesday, because it would take me flipping ages to get back home, but I might ride it in tomorrow. Don't pay congestion charge, do you, on a scooter?
I don't think so.
I'll double check. I don't think you do.
You chose the right weekend to buy it as well. Yeah. Glorious weather.
Oh, man, riding back, it was stunning. And then Sunday, I took it out in the morning just to Costa, just so I'd get a coffee. And I sat there looking at it. And I thought,
I'm quite jealous.
It's wicked.
I really fancy one.
I'll give you a baccy, but I'm not allowed to legally, he says. But we'll do some Bernies in
Astor car park.
Yes, exactly. Good evening, Dom.
Bellboy.
Sorry.
Hello. Bellboy.
Bellboy, I've got to get running now. Bellboy, dum bum 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 bum.
You got yourself a park yet?
No, because I'm not going to go in for all this mod stuff. I've bought a proper motorcycle crash helmet. He said, are you sure you want one of those and not one of these? I said, is that the safest one? He went, yeah, I'm having that. Because I'm going to fall off it at some point. I know it's going to happen. So I want no, I'm not doing the whole mod thing. I'm setting my own trend, Dom.
You not got an open-face helmet? That's ridiculous.
No, of course not, because I'm going to fall off, and my face is my fortune.
I knew that was coming. Face is
yeah.
$1 million head, this.
Well.
Yeah, but how people going to use to spit on you?
Yeah, that hurts.
It's a romantic
Dom.
notion.
But I'm laughing because I'm plotting the revenge I'm going to do on you one night.
Oh, bring it on. Everyone's singing tonight, aren't they? So I thought I'd ring up with a song.
Go on then, mate, yeah.
By the greatest lyricist that ever was, so join in as and when you remember.
Okay.
Come on the Reds, come on the Blues, it's a football game, He scored a goal, he saved a goal, it's a football game, Goalkeeper in back, attacker up in front, the referee's in black, some think he is a character.
There we go.
Come on the Reds, come on the Blues.
It's a football game. I wrote that song. On the spot, on live television, with Kate Lawler there and Dougie Anderson sat there on live television. I came up with that. This is how good I used to be, how quick I used to be. Couldn't do that now. Came up with it. And when I realised that it was just words coming out my mouth. Mm-hmm. But when I realised that there was a delicious moment where attacker up in front, goalkeeper in back, goalkeeper, whatever it was, the referee, something he is a character. And I realised that was coming up. I thought, I'm good. I am. Goes at the peak of my powers.
It's funny that when that happens, isn't it? It just trips out.
Yeah.
Do you think it comes from without or within?
No, it's from it's me. It's all me. The genius is me.
There is no muse.
No, God, no. It's just me being clever and funny and witty and fast. I couldn't do that now. I'm too old and tired to be that spontaneous. Thank you for that, Dom. That was a phone call. 03. We got busy week of shows this week. Who else we got on? Oh, we got House Band on Wednesday.
House Band Wednesday. But
Luke Haynes.
Before that, we've got Stephen Rankin, who is the guy who nearly had his foot chewed off by a snake in Naked and Afraid. And then we promise we'll give the Naked and Afraid stuff a rest for a bit.
We'll give it a couple of weeks, but we will. But we will be watching it. I almost subscribe to the Discovery Channel on Amazon Prime because Naked and Afraid XL is on there. Here's the thing, I've signed up for Amazon Prime. If they're advertising with us, and guys, I urge you all to rush out. I haven't been on Amazon Prime for about a year. What happened to all the good programmes and films? Where did they go? Where did all the good programmes and films go? They've all gone! Well, go and watch American Gods. No, you watch American Gods. It will let you down in the... Where have all the good films and... There's nothing on there!
Is that the one that's got Lovejoy in it?
Yeah. Honestly, because there used to be some good stuff on there. Absolute rubbish now. Started watching Mars Attacks with the kids. They found it too slow, and my eldest got a bit scared.
Is Bill Paxton in that?
I don't know who Bill Paxton is, mate. I know Michael J. Fox and Sarah Jessica Parker are in it.
Oh, are they?
Everyone's in that one. Rod Steiger. Jack Nicholson plays two characters, strangely.
Is James Bond in it? Pierce Brosnan?
No, you'll think... Yeah, Pierce Brosnan's in that. I'd love to watch? Do you know what I'd love to watch? Back to back. Two classic films back to back. Cannonball Run, followed by The Cannonball Run 2.
Oh.
Back to back. Classics. Everyone's in that. Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr. In the second one, I think it's the second one, Frank Sinatra's in it.
Is that like Wacky Races, Cannonball Run?
Yeah.
Right.
Jackie Chan's in it.
Sorry?
Burt Reynolds is in it. Daisy Duke is in it. Roger Moore is in it. I think that's all the people that are in it. But when I was a kid...
Literally all the people.
Cannonball Run 2 was on a lot, but they didn't really show Cannonball Run 1 that much. And I'd like a double bill of Cannonball Run 1. We just call it Cannonball Run. Followed by Cannonball... Brief intermission, so you can get refreshments, have a wee break, all that stuff. And then, boom, 15 minutes, but we're back in for the Cannonball Run 2. Here's the thing though. In it, Jackie Chan, it was the film that introduced Jackie Chan to America.
Sorry,
Jackie Chan, the Karate Man. It's the film that introduced Jackie Chan to America. But in it, he plays a Japanese.
What?
And actually, he's a Chinese. So, a little bit...
Oh, Jackie Chan.
Who?
Unmissable late night radio with the original king of unconventional conversation.
Make contact with Iain.
Late night Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
And then you're trying to lose weight, and then you see something like this. A cafe boasts that it sells Britain's cheapest fry-up for just £1.
Ooh.
What?
Well, it's bad enough when you go into a cafe and you know that the ketchup isn't the original ketchup from the bottle.
Look at that, though, for £1.
Well, that looks like a very shrivelled sausage.
Well, OK. Around 600 punters a week tuck into the full English breakfast, meaning the owners can still make a profit. The meal, a sausage, a rasher of bacon, poached egg. Poached is the way to go. Beans, tomatoes, mushrooms, mini hash browns and a slice of toast.
Oh, that's the lot.
Dwarfs a £21.50 five-star hotel fry-up, slammed last year by food critics. Here's the thing, these poncy fried breakfasts that cost over £15, no. There's no point.
Shouldn't cost more than £5.
No. Oh, I remember Prizzies.
Oh,
the greasy spoon we used to go to. Giles Corrin said brekkie at the McDonald Randolph in Oxford was the worst meal he'd ever been sold.
Oh.
The Sun then bought similar ingredients for 68p. Spring Gardens cafe owners Heather Smith and Carl Welsh used to sell their fry-up for £1.99 in Doncaster. But they slashed the price after Carl, 42, watched TV hotel guru Alex Polizzi explain how low prices can increase turnover. Mum of 3, Heather, 53, said it's been a hit. Builders see it as great value for the most crucial part of the day, and parents with a lot of kids can eat for next to nothing. Homeless people can get a meal each day. Doesn't take long to raise enough change to get £1. Here we go. Sunman Paul Sims tried out the cafe's £1 brekkie. Here's his verdict. I love a full English, and this was right on the money. Laid out before me was a plate of greatness, a proper belly buster. Heather and Carl have cooked up a real treat. And there's more good news. If you can scoff more, you can upgrade to 2 of everything for £2. Well, hang on. No, that's just buying a second breakfast.
You can pay twice and get more.
Oh, Paul Sims, what is this? The £1 portion was quite enough for me, and my pound probably gained me a pound too.
Oh.
In weight.
Yeah,
but it's worth every penny.
Starving.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've lost stone in a week. That can't.
And you had a burger on Friday, so that means...
It was a chicken burger, though. Healthy. It was healthy.
And we didn't have chips?
I didn't have chips. I had some of your kids' chips when they weren't looking, and I was pouncing bits of milkshake off you guys as well, but...
Seems that's the way forward.
That seems to be the way forward,
But
guys.
you're right, it's all chemical, isn't it, with that?
Sorry?
Those pills.
All right, mate. All right, doctor. Flipping heck.
Well.
Yeah.
It is.
Isn't it? We're going to call up David Babcock in a couple of minutes to find out what it is he's holding.
Have we had any guesses as to what he's so furious about when that stopped?
Yeah, mainly rude ones, if I'm honest. Lee's on the line. Good evening, Lee.
Hello, Ian. How are you?
I'm all right, thanks, Lee. What you got for us?
I was just ringing up. I'm curious. You've mentioned this fuel powder a couple of times.
Oh yeah.
Is it fuel? F-U-E-L. It's not fuel.
Huel. H-U-E-L. And I should just stress that I'm not. I heard someone mentioning it somewhere, and so I bought some. I'm not an ambassador. I don't want to be seen to be promoting something. I'm paying for this out of my pocket. But there are loads of different kinds of them. There's like Slim Fast and loads of other different things where you kind of you drink a protein shake that fills you up and gives you nutrients. And you don't have to eat so much.
Does it actually curb your appetite as well? Does it or not?
Well, I think all of these things do, and I'm stepping back from that one product specifically because I don't want to be seen as doing an advert because I'm not. Because I know there are loads of different things. It fills you up. It feels. Is it as satisfying as sitting down and having a roast dinner or a chip butty? Of course it's not. No, of course it's not. Nothing could be. But there are all these different things that kind of fill you up. Are you trying to lose a bit of weight then, Lee?
Well, the past 2 years I've been on that metazapine.
Oh, mate, that's what I'm on.
A man possessed.
That's the one.
Like a man possessed.
Well, that's what I'm on, and that's the thing. The thing I find, right, is that even if I don't eat much food, my metabolism has changed, so I put on weight. But also, I'm never satisfied. I can have a big meal and still feel. If someone, brought out a bag of crisps or something, I could eat it because I don't feel full up while I'm on the metazapine.
Yeah, I can eat a big plate of food and I'm stuffed for about 5 minutes and then that's it. I want something else.
Yeah.
Straight off that.
Do you get the mad dreams on it, Lee?
I don't, to be honest.
Right.
As soon as I have it, within about half an hour, I'm absolutely out like a light, and it's like being in a coma because the next day, as soon as I wake up, I remember nothing. I get
a lot of anxiety dreams on it, and every night. The one the other night, my mum was an evil lesbian who was out to ruin my life. It was incredible.
Yeah.
Are you a driver, Lee?
I am, I'm a taxi driver.
And that's being in the car is lethal because I don't know about you, but I'm trying to avoid it, and this is why I want to use the scooter a bit. If I'm driving home, I'll stop off in a petrol station and I'll buy a load of sweeties and snacks and Ginsters and stuff.
Well, I don't plan to, but when you're there and you're kind of buying your fuel and you're looking at all these shiny stuff in the wrappers, you think, I'll grab some of them.
Yeah, exactly. And you just think, I've been good all day. I'll buy myself a big bar of chocolate and a packet of crisps.
Yeah.
It's
and
nuts.
then you eat a lot.
Yeah, and then then I don't know if you're like me, then you hate yourself afterwards.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
But how's the metazapine going? Is it doing the job it's meant to do?
Well, it is, yeah. It works quite well from your anxiety. But, it's just the side effect of the weight gain. You've got to balance whether...
It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing, because I take it because of the anxiety and the self-loathing, and then it works for that, but then I put on the weight and I hate myself even more and feel anxious. Yeah. It's strange, man. We're strange creatures. Lee, listen, have a look online for the various things that I've kind of mentioned, and there is no easy fix. There is, and what works for me might not work for you, but I'm having a little bit of success at the moment. Nice one, Lee. Take care, man.
Right, cheers, mate.
Thank you, mate. Bye-bye. Right, okay, we've been having a bit of fun this evening. We posted a picture of Resident Spook and Bender, like a sort of mind bender, David Babcock. He was holding something in a sock. We are going to go to David Babcock now. Good evening, David.
This is very late.
No, you started this competition.
Right.
Let's see what some of the suggestions are.
I mean, I think you can probably guess, David.
A truncheon, says Julia.
No.
A dildo, says Eddie.
No.
A bald cactus, says Budgie.
No, that's a bit daft. No.
Budgie also sent another rude one, but we've said that word already. Rob says, is it a baby elephant's trunk?
How on earth?
Mate, I'm just reading out the suggestions for your stupid game.
No.
Okay, David, well, we give up. What is it you're holding in your sock, and why are you so distressed?
It's a can of deodorant, and I'm distressed because I don't trust aerosols. Can I dedicate a song? Hello? And I can't explain, but there's something about Catherine, the way Catherine looks tonight, takes my breath away. It's that feeling I get down inside you every time. Hello? Good night.
That feeling I get inside you every time. Is that what he sang?
Don't know why he has to bring me into it. Every time.
Hey, tomorrow on the show, I don't know much about Newcastle. Say, last time I was there, I was 17, and I was we went joyriding in Jimmy Nail's car. That's a true story. My dad was doing handbrake turns in his car on a gravel pit.
I've never been to Newcastle, but I once went out with a lot of Geordie girls, two of which were dressed up as the Metro.
The what?
The Metro.
What's that?
The Metro.
Oh.
It's the public.
So tomorrow we'll discuss Newcastle.
Transport
and
system.
Maybe we'll phone some people up in Newcastle. Just random people in Newcastle.
You call it Newcastle.
Okay, fine.
You call it that, otherwise they won't know what you're talking about.
All right, mate. Well, I tell you what, when I go to Paris in Francais, that's what its French is. Le Francais.
Yeah, but you don't go to in French, do you?
Of course, no, you go in the Eurostar.
Oh, man.
Or a ferry. Go in a ferry. But you go to La Francais.
Do they do hovercrafts anymore? Is that old-fashioned?
No, here's the thing. We talked about this before, and I don't think they do hovercrafts anymore. Because hovercrafts... Have you ever been on one?
Yeah.
Flipping it, it's
I've
noisy.
driven one.
Well, no.
Not a big one.
Yeah, but I'm talking
a little one.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about a full-size...
Same principle, man.
No, yeah, but have you ever been...
I don't think they have to lean to one side.
Have you ever been a passenger on a full-size hovercraft?
Yeah, I think I have.
It is deafening. Literally, it's 45 minutes of...
It's a bit like working with you.
Ha, ha, ha. My name's Catherine Boyle and I'm an idiot. You would still be at BBC Three Counties Radio licking the boots of Sir Tony Hall.
I'd still have a pension.
Well, that's by the by. I've got a pension, private. I haven't paid into it for the last 18 months because, things are a bit hard on the boulevard. So tomorrow, this is what we'll do. Tomorrow, we're really going to get to know Newcastle. We're going to get in there with all of this overgrowth and all of these plants, and we're really going to get in there and find out what makes Newcastle tick. My name is David Bellamy. Is David Bellamy...
You're doing a voice?
Yeah, I'm doing David Bellamy's voice.
Oh, right, yeah.
He's still alive?
Yes.
Let's get David Bellamy on the show.
Okay.
You sigh as I've asked you to do something that's outside of your job remit, when in fact I haven't. I've asked you to do something that's actually within your job remit.
I know, but still.
Get me David Bellamy. I want Michael Aspel, followed by David Bellamy. I'm David Bellamy.
Don't do the voice to him, though, because I bet he won't like it.
When is Robbie Vincent coming on?
Well, things are a little bit tricky for him at the moment, but he does have the intention of joining us at some point.
You're saying he's fobbed us off?
No, I'm saying he's told me he's up to his eyes in it and he will come on.
In what?
It.
Uh-oh. Dear listener, I feel that we have given you all we can give this evening, and maybe we stopped giving you all we could give about 15 minutes ago. It doesn't matter. I have thoroughly enjoyed myself. Don't forget, you can download podcasts of this show, and we are still eking out the New York shows on podcast. You can get them on iTunes, or you can get them on your usual podcast provider. You can listen to the full show again if you go to talkradio.co.uk. And if you wish to contact me with top secret information, you can send me an email, ian@ianlee.com. Although I'm going to be honest with you, the odds are I will not reply, simply because I'm just not very good at replying at emails. But trust me, I will look at it. That's it. That's your lot. We're back tonight at 10 o'clock. Until then, from us, up yours.